What is up, everybody? Welcome to ToothAndTailTV, the show where we cast the replays you submit. I am Delthius, joining you on this wonderful Thursday night, and with me, as always, is Icebox. What's going up? What's going on, man?
Not too much, Delthius. Just excited for a double-header Thursday night cast of some great Tooth and Tail action.
Yeah, man, we've done it 2 nights in a row. We're spoiling you guys. Alright, so we have 9 replays lined up for tonight, and they are all from unique submitters, so we're pretty excited about that. And then we also have a show match in between Mishi and DJ Soak coming up in about half an hour that they're going to have to play.
It's a special format.
Yeah.
You got to keep it secret.
Yeah, they're going to have to play by our rules. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, something to be real excited about for our wonderful viewers out there in Twitch TV land.
Yeah, man. All right. So, Big Black Tic Tac versus the Gentleman. Are you ready?
Yeah. So obviously people can tell we have a few less replays on the docket for tonight, but that is because of our show match. And I am ready. Let's hop into it.
Ooh, we got a 2v2 lined up for tonight. Always got to have like at least one 2v2, right? You don't want too many of them.
Yeah. As we're getting this, as we're getting kind of more into the groove of things, I'm getting a little bit better at like predicting some of these replays and getting a good mix of like. Different levels of play and different formats of play, so that's exactly what I was thinking. These 2v2s are a whole blast to cast, but they take a little bit longer sometimes, so we do them in moderation here, just like everything.
That's right. Okay, are you ready to hop into game number 1 here?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, hopping into our first game of this Thursday night cast, we have got in the 9 o'clock position, the Gentleman against his opponent. Very close spawn in the north, Big Black Tic Tac.
All right, so Big Black Tic Tac kind of running a little crazy setup here, huh? I like it. Yeah,
this is a heavy structure build with just hardly any units. So I'm interested to see, especially with these close spawns. Like I can't wait to see how it turns out for him. It looks like it could be exciting, but I mean I would put money against him ever getting a Drumfire up this game.
Yeah, as long as the Gentleman stays on top of him. I mean, look at it. The territories are already touching, you know, so Big Black Tic Tac's really got to get in there and throw up some turrets or something like that fairly early, or the Gentleman should be able to control this high ground if he's just focusing on Tier 1 units, I'd assume.
With these lizards coming out especially, it's going to kind of make those dreams a little bit harder, but Big Black Tic Tac getting some lizards of his own to match the force and even going up by 1 farm. So with such close spawns, that can be a pretty risky maneuver. Since the rush distance here is basically nil.
And I really like this build coming out of the Gentleman. It's like the Swiss Army knife style build, right? Where he's kind of got the answer any way you slice the Tier 1 early game engagements. And then he's got the snakes and the wolves, which, I mean, you know, having the snake in your deck can really add a lot of variety to your playstyle. You could decide to rush up to a really quick snake or kind of hold off and get a bunch of lizards. But Gentleman coming in, getting a couple trades, but, you know, it's really hard to get value with the Warrens soaking up so much damage. That defender's advantage is real, man.
Nothing too much happening there for either players. Not too big of an exchange, and I like seeing the wolf here for the Gentleman as well, because especially with the snakes, man, the amount of damage over time those things put out when they've got the wolf buff on them is just disgusting. Your army just melts before your eyes. Yeah,
I've got to try that one out. I haven't really played a whole lot with the wolf, to be honest. I want to do more 2v2s, man. Maybe me and you need to do some 2v2s together or something nice and kind of try to do those like Siamese twin style builds, you know, where one of us gets things like the wolf and the other one gets all the standard stuff and kind of work together. That'd be a lot of fun. I feel like wolf is like super strong in 2v2. I'm not so sure about 1v1. As well. Yeah. I think next Clash of Comrades, Del. Let's hit it up. Let's cast in between wrecking other nerds' faces. Nah, man, we'll cast the game as we play it.
Yeah, we already practiced that a little bit during the Strawberry Series tournament.
Yeah, man. So this is actually going pretty according to plan for Tic Tac at this point, right? I mean, he's securing this high ground. He claimed that gristmill, and now he's starting to leapfrog the turrets, and that territory expansion is going to be a really big help for him with his, you know, high defense structure style play here.
Pretty soon he's going to have a turret in range of these Warrens. This is really interesting coming out of him. I like this play because he's got just enough so that the Gentleman has no hope of really engaging in there, even with the Toads. There's not much he's going to be able to do against 6 lizards plus this turret support. So this is crazy, just this slow creep. But the Gentleman's going to see if he can make something happen. He gets the cancel off on that turret, takes out the lizards, and it turns out I was mostly wrong. Damn. Because the Gentleman was able to break this position.
That's insane. Done. Yeah, those Toads really make a difference. And that's kind of why I was worried about Tic Tac's build coming into this, which, like, I get it. I totally get cutting the Toads in his playstyle here, but it's really risky, you know, because against lizards, you really don't have a really good option, or if the enemy goes toads, rather. You don't have anything to tech
really
switch into.
pulling out into a good spot here. Yeah. That was pretty good. I mean, I think that, again, when a player's got a good amount of defensive structures, they can last a lot longer in the game. That's kind of the counter answer to losing early engagements, because
right.
you can take a lot more time to bounce back than if you just had a straight unit-based deck.
Yeah, and good response out of the gentleman, going ahead and grabbing an expansion up. Sometimes when you're in a position where you can't really break this excessive defense that your enemy's building, the best thing to do is just expand out and take the map and eventually get that large economic advantage.
Looks like, I don't know if we got a couple drop frames. We got Quasar Prince F in the chat saying that whole awesome fight that you guys maybe missed was apparently dropped. But it was an awesome fight. Hopefully my play-by-play was enough if the audio is still going. Sorry about that, guys. I think maybe just a little bit of an internet hiccup. We'll see if it normalizes as we go. We know Delthius has got a 50-foot long Ethernet cable,
yeah, man.
So he should be jamming speedy these days.
Yeah, it should be basically the same as it was last night. I'll have to double check. Let us know if the quality still remains poor, and I'll definitely try to remediate that. But man, TikTak is building so many turrets here, and getting that balloon right in the middle of them to really give his composition a little bit more range in poking. And that balloon's really good too to zone out the enemy commander, you know?
The gentleman definitely reading into this highly defensive playstyle and goes and throws down all of the farms for an expansion out of his the rear side of his base, and even grabbing another expansion. So the gentleman's just like, all right, dude, have fun building your little fortress. I'm going to go super eco time.
Yeah, and this heavy tier 1 lizard toad composition is going to be crazy, man. I mean, going up to 18 lizards, I don't think he's got any plans to stop anytime soon. And once those wolves come out, things are going to get crazy.
Looks like the stream's kind of stabilized now, so could be pretty good. That might have been just a little speed bumps. So even the internet's got speed bumps these days. This play coming out of the gentleman, I like it a lot more than the position for Big Black TikTak currently, because again, the big downside with the turrets, they can't move.
Right.
So, you know, that's your big play-by-play analysis of the day. Turrets can't move. You're welcome, chat.
Yeah, and he's got enough of an army of his own. I mean, he could kind of afford to sell a few of those turrets and focus a little more on his economy to make sure he keeps up with the gentleman, because the gentleman's not messing around, man. He's already up to 18 farms, and if TikTak's not careful, you know, the gentleman's economy will just let him take engagements that are unfavorable to him.
At some point, TikTak's got to just like start throwing down 1 million snake warrens, or I guess maybe his plan is to start really pushing these drum fires. He if that's his plan, he lucked out with these close spawns, because I bet he could get pretty close to being in range of that gristmill. But again, the gentleman's got 2 more behind him, so it's going to be quite a slow push. But it looks like that's the game TikTak's playing, because he throws down another 3, 4, 5, 6 turrets on the front lines.
Yeah, this guy loves turrets, man. I can't blame him. They're super fun structures to play with, but what kind of sucks for him is that this isn't really containing the gentleman, right? Like, investing in this much... Oh, hang on a second. TikTak's coming in with a ton of lizards, looking to just go ahead and snipe a gristmill. This might actually work for him. That was a very good read out of TikTak. I'd like to see him pull back from here, not engage that superior army of the gentleman. But yeah, great play out of TikTak. I mean, granted that gristmill doesn't matter super a lot nowadays. You know, it's still a good blow, I would say, for free, right?
I think normally I would say that doesn't matter much at all, but with TikTak's deck, getting that gristmill expanded his territory, and if he can get an artillery cannon up in there, he's going to start tanking these warrens. So
yeah, that's a really good point.
I really wish that I can't wait till we get rewinds in this situation, because I wonder how much vision TikTak had in that sense, because that was a really good move just to sneak around and get that gristmill. I wonder if he kind of risked it, or if he knew the gentleman was moving off to that gristmill into the center of the map there, because I would have even more props if he had some knowledge there, but still good gambling sense otherwise.
Man, this is going to feel so bad for TikTak when... I mean, look, the gentleman has the entire map, and he's just going to walk all the way around these defensive structures and right into TikTak's base, and he's not even really that afraid of the base trade, or at least he shouldn't be, because his base is more to the right, but instead he's going to come back and defend here. TikTak has a really good map awareness. Like, every time the gentleman steps out of position, you know, Big Black TikTak's in there, and he's knocking out gristmills, and he's taking out warrens. I mean, great play for
Holy
sure.
cow, yeah, those warrens got melted just now. That was normally that's not too big of a deal, but I mean, he just destroyed half the supply of the gentleman's lizards. Granted, it doesn't kill the lizards themselves, but a lot of this game comes down to these big engagements and how quickly you can resupply it. So rebuilding those warrens is definitely a cost, and even though he's down by a ton in terms of farms. It just shows how you can't break these structure players. But that sucks, losing pretty much his entire army. He's going to have to go back and lick his wounds for a while now.
Yeah, it might have been, like, okay if he got that gristmill, but the gentleman doesn't even care about that gristmill. He's got 27 farms here. That's just crazy, man. Like, what can the Tic Tac do against the massive economy that's coming out of the gentleman here?
That's going to be pretty tough. I think the answer is not much. I mean, the gentleman's building up such momentum with 31 farms to 8 that I don't care how many drum fires you have. If anyone wants to check out the cast from last night, we had a pretty comical game with, I think, the Orange Numpty.
Orange Numpty, yeah, I remember that.
Built the most comical amount. We got a big fight going up in the middle. These lizards are rushing in. Drumfire melting them and keeping all of the lizards of Big Black Tic Tac alive.
Damn,
These snakes
man.
putting in some good work. Is it going to be enough? It looks like it won't. He's still got a long road to climb here.
Oh my god, is Tic Tac going to win this?
Holy cow. He's got to start pushing now because, again, that economy of the gentleman is nothing to scoff at.
Absolutely, but, I mean, that was an incredibly favorable trade for the Tic Tac here. I mean, granted, his army value is still probably not anywhere near the gentleman's, but, man, yeah, check out the graphs, man. Like, he did very well there, and yeah, the gentleman needs to sneak over here through this attack route that he just kind of walked through. I really try to just avoid those defensive structures, but Tic Tac, man, every single time he sniffs out that the gentleman's army is not where it's supposed to be, he comes in here and gets some good damage done, and I don't know if he's going to be able to escape with that Wolf speed buff.
Definitely going to lose some snakes here against that those double swift lizards, and I really like this kind of gristmill sniping style from Tic Tac because oftentimes it is typically not a good idea to focus a gristmill because they have so much health that you're just going to get wrecked by the opponent's army. But in this case, it's working out really well for him because he's able to take out 8 farms at once, and so some really great map awareness. But oh man, those toads taking out all those lizards, and that could be the straw that broke the camel's back. And sure enough, he taps out immediately.
Yeah, when you're up against 12 snakes and 3 wolves, not a lot of tactical plays are really going to save you there. Great game out of both players, and that just shows you how to respond to somebody who's going too hard on defense, man. Just gobble up the rest of the map, and it's exactly what we saw the gentleman do here. So
he definitely showed you how it's done. So that was the gentleman read it correctly and quickly expanded, and Tic Tac just wasn't able to kind of bounce back from it. So does show you how it's going. I think there's a lot to learn from some of the cool things that Tic Tac did in that game, but obviously the correct response coming out of the gentleman shows that it's you can't win with a cool structure push alone.
Definitely. All right, let's hop into the Chip versus Prince F game here. But then maybe we should see if we can rally up our show match players after this one. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, no desync issues. This is pretty great. In the 9 o'clock position, we've got our green player, Chip from space, against his opponent, tucked away in the 3 o'clock position, Prince F, who's also in the chat. Welcome. Glad to be casting one of your games here, Prince F. I don't think this is his submission, PS. I don't know whose it is. We actually got, I think we got one submission from each player, and I don't know which one is which. They each submitted a game against each other, so kind of an unofficial best of 3, possibly, or best of 2.
Yeah, and Chip's build here looks really by the book. This is actually a build I've been experimenting with today on the ladder and had some pretty good success with it. And I think it's a really well-rounded build that kind of gives you an answer for everything, but maybe not highly specialized in anything in particular. But meanwhile, man, Prince F, he's the one showing us some crazy stuff here, man. He's got the mines, he's got the drumfire cannon, he's got the fox. So I'm really interested to see what Prince F's game plan with such a kind of wacky deck is going to be against someone as good as Chip.
It should be pretty interesting, and it is pretty cool to see these mines and drumfires out. Drumfires are I'm always hesitant to take them by themselves. They're so hard to get established that you just need this kind of support. And I guess usually the support can just be army, but they do seem, they're just such a gamble. It's like if you can get it up, boom, you're in good shape. But it's so easy to capitalize if it gets scouted because it takes 40 seconds to build, same amount of time as a tier 3 unit.
Right. Yeah, maybe the move is to like kind of build a bunch of tier 1 first and then invest in the drumfire cannon, and then once the cannon's up, maybe sell off those tier 1 units for something like owls, or I don't know. I think you could kind of get a lot of value with drumfire cannons by doing some kind of crazy refund play. What do you think?
That's something that you kind of see often. It's hard to justify. If I ever play with them, I'll refund them to reposition, but it's kind of a difficult thing. I've usually never taken a Drumfire along with some heavy tier 3 play, so it's kind of hard. But I'd love to see it. So I wouldn't consider myself the expert of some of these clever strategies. So hopefully someone listening takes that to heart and maybe shows us some cool tricks with that. Got a little engage going out in the middle. These toads are almost always going to do well against lizards. What do you think of this little secret expand here coming out of printf?
I really like it, but I'm worried. I mean, that's just food that he's investing, into economy while Chip is continuing to pump out tier 1 units, and you really don't want any kind of, downward, deficiencies against a player like Chip, right? I mean, something like 60 food is another warrant for him, and these mine placements are really cool. I wonder if they're going to come into play. We'll have to just kind of wait and find out. I like how he's like spreading the mines in all these awkward places that you normally wouldn't expect. That's really cool, man.
This is it's definitely interesting to see him running up there. I think he kind of juked out Chip. I don't think Chip knows about that base up there. He definitely doesn't seem to have it scouted out. So he might have just been thinking printf was just kind of positioning a little bit, but is Chip going to scout it out? Yeah, I don't know. This might work out well for him. It's that classic thing. Like, the longer it stays up, the more it's going to pay off. But if someone finds it out early, then you're in big trouble. With these toads, though, both players are relatively safe right now. I mean, I think Chip could even move out if he wanted to. He might be scared of the mines, though.
Right. I mean, Chip probably knows it exists. It's hard to tell. Like, he doesn't actually know it exists, but Chip's really good at, when you're a high-level player, you can do things like kind of gauge your enemy's army and then determine if they're doing anything crazy. Like, is there food missing from that, right? So Chip probably, from just kind of coming in and scanning what the enemy's got, he should be aware either something like a tier 3 warren or an expansion is up or on the way, I would imagine.
Sorry, guys. Looks like we're having a couple stream issues. Really not sure what it is. I'm thinking it's maybe some hiccups. Could be another hurricane coming in to take Delthius out. We're gonna hope not.
Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow again, Chip. I appreciate it. Yeah, keep me posted on the stream details. My wife is actually streaming this dad dating simulator game tonight, and she might be downloading it or something. I'll double check with her after this game's over. But I'm on the Ethernet cable, so I thought that kind of fixed the issue, but sorry about that. We'll get it sorted out here soon.
Hopefully just speed bumps, but Chip is pushing the advantage, seeing that printf is going for a really heavy lizard ball. Always tricky to do. Like, it feels like such an obvious counter that I have a hard time seeing what the alternative is. Granted, printf doesn't have anything but lizards in his tier 1 to go with, so he's kind of just making the most, but it's just seems like such a battle that's almost lost before it's begun, and sure enough, that good toad hit takes a lot of those lizards down to half health, and Chip's going to push the advantage here. Does he knows by now, because he sees those warrens, obviously, that printf's expanded up to that top corner. Damn, man, yeah, those toads doing some serious work to those lizards there, and toads are getting a change, and I think it's live on the public test realm right now, where they explode in the spot that they're at instead of hopping, and they do bonus damage to structures and maybe some stat changes too. Do you know all the details on that, Ice? Oh man, for the upcoming balance changes? Yeah. Oh, have I lost you there, Del? Yeah, I think you cut out for a second. Sorry about any technical issues, guys. I'll take a look at it after this replay. But yeah, I was talking about the toad changes coming out that are available on the public test realm right now. Gosh, I think we should just throw up that Trello board in between one of these replays and just kind of like give a little bit of Delthius and Icebox opinions on each one, because it's a bunch of changes. So yeah, the toads are gonna crit structures. So we saw in that last game they pushed pretty easily into those turrets as is, and so it's gonna get only even more crazy when they become full banelings. But real quick, we got printf running in for a little bit of a hit squad, and he's just gonna play ring around the rosy here with Chip's toad squad. He's going to engage and then maybe pull away as soon as those toads get close. Some really good micros, doing as good as he can with these with this lizard squad. Yeah, but at the same time, Chip had actually microed his 4 snakes up to the 12 o'clock position and took out the base from printf. So really cool to see like micro counterattacks and flanks being used by controlling individual units. I mean, that couldn't have been easy for Chip. He had to micro his lizards, squirrels, and snakes independently in that engagement, and this is becoming pretty scrappy here. I mean, printf is just out of an economy, and this is kind of why you got to run
at least 2 out of 3 of those tier 1 units, right? Because just a few toads that Chip have really negate this entire lizard ball completely.
Oh, or he just needed to pursue like a totally different strategy with trying to do this slow push with Drumfire. But against a player like Chip, I'm sure he would just kind of blow up all over the map, and we'd see kind of a duplicate of the previous game. And he's going to tap out as soon as he sees those toads running in for that final kill meter.
Yeah, no, that was a really cool replay. I liked Chip's move, taking out the 12 o'clock base with all the snakes. That was really good. Alright, so, is the stream laggy? Is it still laggy? We want to get a hold of, let me see. Yo. Alright, so we got a show match between DJ and Mishi coming up. I did say 8:30, so do you think we should do one more replay?
Yeah, I think we need to do one more, and maybe while we're casting, I'll take a quick little hop away to chat with them to see if we can get them lined up.
Oh, wait, hang on. They said they're ready right now, actually. So I think we should just go ahead
let's
and
not
hop
keep
into
them
it.
waiting. You gonna make the lobby?
Yeah, I'll make the lobby. All right, so do you want to explain the rules of tonight's show match here?
Oh yes, so it's DJ against Mishi, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we've got a very special Tooth and Tail TV presentation. Our first officially hosted and sponsored, well, not sponsored, by Tooth and Tail TV, but that doesn't actually mean any money or anything. Show match between DJ Soak and Mishi, 2 phenomenal players who are going to meet on the gridiron battlefield of Tooth and Tail to play 5 Tier 3 units and 1 structure of their choice.
Ooh.
That is the format for tonight's best of 3, and let's see what happens. Everyone, no one gets to see enough Tier 3 units, so we here at Tooth and Tail TV are like, why not see all of the Tier 3 units?
Oh, so
and
you want to go
make
for...
some good players do it.
You want to go for straight 5 Tier 3, all 5 Tier 3 picks, and then only 1 defensive? I was going to let them pick a mix as they saw fit, but yeah, let's do that. I'm cool with that.
Oh, dude, that was my idea. We want 5 Tier 3s and then 1 structure of their choice. That's the only little bit of flavor they can put in there.
Okay. Let me make sure they understand the rules. I said it in there. I'll say it on Discord. Sorry, guys. Making sure everybody knows what kind of silliness is going on here. We got a lot of spectators coming in here. You better get in here, Icebox. Where you at?
I'm good. I've got a different name today. It's Dilbert. It was a joke for one of my friends, and I forgot to change it. So I'm in. I'm good to go.
Right on. TJ's like, you bamboozled me.
Yeah, get wrecked, DJ. We know that's why we had Delthius seek you out, because we know, as one of the most acclaimed mole players, we figured this would be an especially, fun, in quotes, match for you to play. So we're glad to have you here.
All right, I guess the decision making here is going to be on that tier 3 structure and which units to rush out first. I mean, what would you do in this situation?
Oh man, I don't even know, because there's really so much, like, you never get this opportunity. That's why I'm so excited to see this match, because there's so much synergy between these tier 3 units, but in any given game you're never going to be able to get a chance to see that kind of synergy. So I mean, I have no idea. You know me, I love the owl, so I would maybe do a whole bunch of those. But again, a couple Uncle Butters might be enough to take out those owls. So we'll just kind of see. It's going to come down. I think it's going to come down a lot to the defensive structures. And we already see Mishi kind of agonizing over the decision. We see him kind of picking one and bouncing around to something else. So we'll see. I don't want to announce anything in case these guys are watching. I guess they'd see it anyway. But I'm just excited. What would you do, Delthius?
Sorry, I'm dealing with DJ's rage here. Ooh, we got
no worries. I'm gonna hit up with the introductions. We've got DJ Soak in the 6 o'clock position, running 5 T3s and a Bullet Hive against his opponent Mishi in the 1 o'clock position in the green, also running 5 T3s and a Drumfire cannon.
Dude, you sound super hyped for this game, man. I'm super hyped for this game. This is gonna be really good. Okay, so interesting play out of DJ. Does Mishi understand? Yeah, that's funny.
DJ, why did we give you a stationary mole to play with? Of course DJ is going to do this.
Dude, how did DJ find a way to cheese in a 5 tier 3 1 defensive structure match game, dude?
Dang it, we tried to give him no time to plan too. Oh, man.
That's alright. Come on, Mishi, get that Drumfire kitted. It's gonna be too late, though. Oh my god, this is...
I mean, again, other than this move, though, this game's gonna go on. I mean, like, I wouldn't blame Mishi if he tapped out, but it's kind of like, you know, DJ can't just continually follow him around, and so...
I don't know, man. I think this might be too much. I mean, maybe that Drumfire will eventually finish. Yeah.
But how do you close out this game without a unit, Delthius? This is still... You know, I'm not giving up hope yet, because DJ might have found a way to cheese this immediately because he's a scoundrel, but he's still got 3 farms and a gristmill. DJ doesn't have a close here.
That's true. And, you know, yeah, DJ's not really ahead, quote-unquote, and he's going to have to sell these turrets. He did get a lot of value out of those turrets, and did force Mishi to make that Drumfire immediately. But, man, I don't even know what to do at this point. What kind of chaos have you wrought among us?
I don't know. I'm hoping it's great. That's like, we're definitely taking a risk here because, as DJ showed us, there can definitely be some cheeky strategies that would end this game way sooner than I might have predicted. But at the same time, he didn't have a closer, and so the game's not over yet. And I've still got some high hopes. Granted, DJ's at a pretty good spot. He's up 8 farms to 5. Another expansion, pushing his way towards Mishi. But I mean. It looks like we've learned one thing, is you can't win a game with turrets. So...
Yeah, this is true. Man, DJ just taking over the entire map here with Gristmills and trying to set up this forward advantage. And I wonder if Mishi... Yeah, Mishi's just deciding, you know what, my economy's too far behind. I'm going to try to get out a unit first. And it goes for the Fox, which is a pretty good choice unless DJ kind of sniffs it out and builds too many turrets. But interesting enough, DJ's first choice here is the Wolf. And I guess he's going to be... using that to kind of boost his economy up. What do you think?
I think that DJ, other than his burrow BM that he's doing over here in the corner by Mishi's base, I think DJ was like, his first strategy was like, all right, I'm going to end this game immediately. And now his strategy is, all right, I'm going to make this game last 35 minutes as I take every farm on the map and just boost my economy with the Wolf. But sure enough, he's building more turrets.
Oh my god. And the Fox can't hit. Oh, this feels so bad for Mishi, man. I'm sorry I did this to you. You're a good person.
I mean, it's definitely my fault, too, because we tricked him at the last second. But, hey, you know, now this might mean that the structure you have to take is the turret. So we'll see if that's the case. Still pretty ridiculous, because, again, DJ, so he's thrown down a Fox of his own. He's got the Wolf. I guess the Fox will be pretty good against this Drumfire, because it can just micro all day long.
Yeah, trying to get out a really early Fox is just not working out for Mishi here because DJ is just abusing the hell out of these turrets from every single angle, man. He kind of took a good thing and turned it into a bad thing for Mishi, right? Like all these bases that are really close to his natural, and oh man, this is just this hurts, man. I'm sorry, Mishi. Mishi's gonna hate us now, man.
The cruelty here from DJ is just. I think that Mishi was like, all right, cool, I'm ready to play this game the way it was meant to be played, as suggested by the Tooth and Tail casters. And then DJ's like, all right, I'm gonna break this game. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna suplex it.
Hey man, DJ pulling some smart strategies out on us. You know, he's not cheating, right? He's working within the rules we set here. Now he's yelling at those bullet hives, making them even stronger. Man,
well, I mean, and maybe for the next one we do all the structures in 1 tier 3. It doesn't matter to me. I don't know if every game would just turn into a turret rush. We'll leave it up to a chat vote.
Yeah, I think like any combination, right? Like any combo at tier 3 defense makes the most sense. Otherwise, I think you kind of just have to take the turret.
Yeah, I think we learned that. I'm down for that rule amendment. Should we say it in the chat here? I mean, we're saying it verbally, obviously.
I'm telling DJ and Mishi right now.
Okay, you got it covered.
Okay, making sure they understand. You can pick any tier 3 and defensive combo, any combination of those two categories that you would like. You don't have to go full throttle on one or the other. Hopefully Mishi got the memo there.
He'd hear it by now. I mean, I'll throw it in the chat just in case.
Sorry, we're changing rules up on you mid-game, but man, that was pretty clever though from DJ. You gotta admit, like, leave it to the king of the moles to find a way to cheese a defense tier 3 match.
Yeah, I guess we should have seen it coming, but but still. All right, so I like this. I like what we're seeing right now. So totally different in our best of 3 show match. I mean, we're gonna play all 3 games anyway, though, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so our best 3-game show match, DJ Soak here spawning in the 9 o'clock position in the green. His opponent, Mishi, spawning in the 5 o'clock position.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah, taking all structures in an owl. This is my kind of deck right here. So Team Mishi representing right here.
Yeah, I really like Mishi's kind of super World War I style here, and I think Mishi is pretty afraid of DJ taking that forward gristmill and throwing down turrets again. But, you know, DJ's build makes a lot of sense too, right? I mean, getting the Badger, Wolf, Boar combo, they all kind of synergize really well together, and I think he basically picked up the 3, you know, quote-unquote best tier 3 or defensive structure units. Like, I don't know, like barbed wire is really good too in mines. You can't, I guess, say that, but it feels really well-rounded.
I feel like if you know your opponent can only take tier 3 units, barbed wire is pretty good because only a couple of them can get across. But at the same time, they've got so much health that they really can just kind of bust through the barbed wire if they wanted to.
Right. Yeah, and
so I think we're going to see just a whole bunch of posturing in this game. Obviously, DJ. Oh, sure enough, as soon as I say that, I'm lying. DJ throws down the gristmill take to prompt out a turret from Mishi, and he's going to try it just on the other side instead. I'm not sure if that's going to get him enough territory to put any cheeky turrets down, but he's going to throw the old double gristmill take to see which one Mishi goes for first.
Yeah, I think DJ is just doing what he does best and playing some mind games, man. And I really like to see Mishi just go ahead and throw down an Owl Warren or something like that and be like, you know what, it's not going to matter. I'll just throw up a turret if you start doing anything too cheeky. And we're going to have to see what DJ's first decision is here, and it's going to be the Wolf. And that's kind of really interesting first choice to make in a Tier 3 composition because, I mean, it's basically announcing that you plan to be economic up front, right? You want to get that extra mining capability that the Wolf provides. And I guess, actually, it'll help get your other Tier 3 units out faster as well.
I would think so. It was interesting placing those farms down, yeah, because I'm not sure if DJ would really be able to hold that base, so he kind of cancels it. But you know, he's going to build one on this other side. I think Mishi's going to see that right away. Maybe not. He doesn't know that DJ's getting that base right there. I'm not sure what kind of range that's going to give him for any turret cheekiness, but could be the start of something stinky.
Indeed, and we'll have to see what Mishi decides to do. I mean, I guess Mishi should really just wait until he's got his owl out, right, and just start picking off these proxy bases that DJ keeps stealing away from him. I think that's probably the play to make here, and love moving the Drumfire a little closer. Do you think that has range on this Gristmill if he has vision?
The Drumfire, yeah, on that one, I bet it does. I'll take a bet on that. So we got a big turret battle going up here, so this should be pretty comical to watch as they begin taking each other down. I think Mishi will be in an okay spot.
Yeah, I think
now these three turrets. These 3 turrets will be.
Damn.
I can't. It's so hard to cast a turret fight, but it looks like Mishi's going to just barely hold off DJ's turret rush.
Man, that was crazy. Hey, I bet nobody's ever seen that before in a game of Tooth and Tail, right? We're bringing you some crazy stuff here on Tooth and Tail TV. But yeah, the owl's finally out, so now Mishi can start putting an end to some of this nonsense DJ's been forcing him into all game, and DJ going straight for that Badger Wolf combo, and that's going to be very difficult for Mishi to deal with at this point. So if he's able to get things together, I mean, if Mishi's able to put on some kind of pressure right now, the Wolf is just kind of sitting at home helping on DJ, and he hasn't really spun up too much yet, but he does just get his Badger out, so it'll be kind of interesting to see the comparison there of who does better. And now that we've kind of entered into a more stable game, I'm really interested to see what these very talented players decide to do and when they decide to push. So DJ's going to come out right away with his 2, and is the Owl alone enough to stop the Badger Wolf? Wow, I can't believe that Drumfire is actually in range. And geez, that Badger Wolf is doing so much damage. But DJ's got to be careful.
Time, they're super low. So I mean, 14 farms to 8. This is this is looking okay for Mishi. And he doesn't, obviously you can't have pigeons, so any damage you take is a little bit harder to heal up.
Yeah, especially on these tier 3 units that have such large health pools. DJ's really going to have to calm down for a little bit on his side of the map to get to full HP before he can push again. And Mishi kind of sealing up the cracks here by adding a couple more defensive structures. And I'd really like to, I mean, Mishi's got the better economy here. I'd really like to see Mishi try to rush up to some additional owls, but I think Mishi's kind of more concerned with creating this fortress right now. And, you know, if this goes super late and Mishi gets a good barbed wire stretch across the middle of the map, I don't think DJ can deal with that, can he?
Well, the map is definitely in favor of Mishi if he goes for a strategy like that, because it's going to be a lot easier for him to kind of section off more grist mills, and so obviously in the long run that'll pay off. So I think DJ realizes that, and he's getting his other tier 3s up, and I think we'll expect to see another push, but even now the Badger is just now getting back up to full health. The Wolf is about the same. I'm getting a couple little red plugs on this, so hopefully I'm not getting too far behind you.
No, I'm getting it too. I think it's the match. It's not the stream lagging or anything, guys. It's just the actual game itself seems to be going through a lag spike here.
Right, so yeah, we'll be synced. I forgot we're not watching a replay here. I was like, what? Why am I lagging on this? But it's because it's a live game. Here at ToothAndTailTV, we're so used to replays.
Yeah, man. And man, DJ's army's getting scarier and scarier here. I'd really like to see Mishi throw down a couple more Owl Warrens, or it might just be a little too late. DJ finds a pocket and entry point over here, and Uncle Butter is really going to help out a lot against these mice. I don't know, man. Mishi's got such an economic advantage, but like just no army.
He just throws down 2 more Owl Warrens, so even if he loses this farm, as long as he's able to build up enough, I think that he'll be able to hopefully get these out. And if these air balloons come up, the Badger can take him out, but they might be able to take things out pretty quickly, because again, no pigeons means no healing.
Right.
And so they're doing work. Uncle Butter's the most tanky tier 3, just goes down.
Wow.
The Wolf goes down as well, and he's left with just a Badger.
Mishi! Dude, those balloons getting so much damage done. Man, how is the Badger still buffed?
Gosh, what? I don't even know what happened there. So it looks like Mishi actually ended up a little bit on the better side for army trade.
Yeah.
Granted, leaving with the Badger still intact. Those 120 food balloons putting in some good work there.
Yeah, I'm really surprised Mishi is still alive right now, to be honest, and he's in pretty good shape. I mean, he's got 2 owls on the way, and I don't know, man. This is going to kind of come down to it. I don't really know which way this game's going to go.
With these 2 Badgers out, I think the pressure's going to be pretty on for Mishi. Unfortunately, these owls aren't quite as far along as they really need to be. I don't think DJ knows that, and so he's kind of playing timidly, as I would too. He obviously doesn't have the perfect vision that we do. But the fact that these owls are a little bit late coming out from Mishi is going to be pretty tough hold against 3 Badgers now from DJ.
Yeah, I like how DJ is just ignoring our defensive structures rule here. Yeah, I don't think he's built a single one.
Other than that turret fight in the middle of the game, but let's see. This Delthius putting in some work. One of those Badgers getting low. Only losing a couple farms, so I mean it's not looking too bad. DJ is now eked into the lead economically for just a second as Mishi throws down some more farms in that back expand.
Yeah, but this is gonna just get tougher and tougher for Mishi, I feel like, man. Badgers do so much damage, and he's really got to get some kills. Oh, that one gets so low.
Zombie Badger. That's a 5 health Badger right there. It's another one. We need like an emote for that.
Yeah, we should have a little counter in the top corner or something.
Oh, holy cow. Uncle Butters, DJ using Rally All right there, and Uncle Butters walks right in front of these balloons, and he loses him. So that's definitely a big pickoff for Mishi here.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of donation Mishi was looking for sure. And I don't know, man, if DJ kind of sits back, he might let Mishi kind of inch back into this game here. But DJ actually just sold off a couple of his tier 3 Warrens, and oh, okay, instead he's just going for super economic additional expansion and catching Mishi a little bit out of position here, trying to move in with the Badgers, but the Drumfire Cannon is really paying off there. Good positioning on that. Kind of tucked it back.
You saw he just sniped the Warrens of DJ. So DJ was banking some serious food, probably to rebuild those Badgers if and when he lost them. And so that was a huge play coming out of Mishi, because again, I think Mishi knows that straight up his composition doesn't have the DPS of Badgers, but he's a bit more mobile and more cost efficient. So he's taking advantage of it. One Badger goes down here from DJ, another one at half health, and I don't know. This is some great. This is what I was talking about with this build. So good suggestion on the change up for the rules, Delthius. This is much more exciting.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that this game is still happening. And like you said, man, Mishi, I thought Mishi was going to get knocked out when his army was out of position, but Mishi managed to get those 3 tier 3 Warrens and do some crippling damage to DJ, and DJ couldn't really get anything done on the back end of it. And Mishi's really got to not let that Drumfire Cannon get up. That is going to hurt.
He's keeping that owl alive, and now it's kind of the same deal where the fact that they take so long to heal is a little bit rough for Mishi, because the whole purpose of the owls here in Mishi's build is the fact that they're so cost efficient. Like he's the only guy producing tier 1 units essentially, and so keeping these owls alive is obviously the most important thing ever. Owl bombs here would be super useless.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And nice pick off of the building Drumfire Cannon, and I think DJ went ahead and sold the other one, right?
He did. Yeah, I think he wanted to make sure they didn't lose the money on it, and so sold that one off.
Ooh, getting a Badger with the mice.
All right, this is looking good. Team Mishi, represent.
Yeah, man, and I think Mishi's really got to keep getting it done here. Well, I guess he's got this base available. I don't think DJ Sook mined that, like, what, 7 o'clock base very much? Or has that even been taken?
No, I don't think it was taken at all, but the one point here is, like, economics. Once you get 4 owls out, economics don't really matter as much anymore.
That's true.
Because that's the whole purpose of owls. Oh my god, that Badger almost chasing down that owl. That's got to be so frustrating for DJ because, as I was just saying, the economics here, doesn't matter how many farms DJ is going to have, the production of owls, like, if you do the math on how much one of those mice is worth, Mishi's economy is going to be off the charts with how fast he's producing units.
Yeah, and he's keeping DJ down to a very low number on Badgers here, and as long as Mishi keeps staying, aware and coming in here and taking out the Drumfire Cannons before they get up, I think Mishi
another
is
Badger running
in.
across those sniper balloons. Man, that's been so painful. DJ's just so spread out that he's losing too many Badgers, and these mice, they're putting in work. I'm liking Mishi's position more and more. He's up in economy and in unit economy by those owls.
Yeah, I think slowly but surely Mishi is going to take this game. And yeah, how many tier 3 units has DJ lost from his Warrens being back here? And
at least 2 that I've seen, and so that's been pretty rough. Is there still one back there? Did he go back and sell it off?
He went back and sold it.
Yeah.
He just sold it.
Did he get an owl right there? No, the owls are all still alive, and that Badger's at 7 health. Another zombie Badger. He's going to lose this Warren. Oh, yes, last hit from that mouse. And so this is Owls, man. Owls OP.
Yeah, and I like DJ's little last stand move here, building an absurd amount of turrets to tank for these Badgers, and doing a very good job of just that. And Mishi's probably going to really have to wait to build up a whole bunch of mice, or actually just get a Drumfire Cannon that's in range of those turrets. That could work too. 19 farms to 6 though, man. I think this is a good game for owl lovers here. This is what we're talking about. This is what we need here in Owl Land. And so Mishi's going up to 6 owls right now, and I think it's going to be, it's a little bit. I don't see how DJ gets out of this. Even with 1 million turrets, eventually 6 owls worth of mice coming out. The big push coming in, chasing these Badgers back, and the turrets making it a long journey back home. Almost loses that Badger, turning into another zombie Badger. Once this Drumfire gets done, is it in range? Yes, it
is. It is in range. Ouch.
Nice try, DJ. Oh, a little indecisive with the mice. It gets in there, cleans up the rest of the turrets. I think this is going to be all she wrote, man. Very well played from both these players, to be honest. But I'm super surprised, man. I was ready for Mishi to tap out like 2 or 3 times this game. And I think we've seen that a lot with games from Mishi, haven't we? Where we're just like, yeah, that's GG. But Mishi hangs in there and secures the win. So really cool.
I think he's got the stamina, man. He's got the staying power to make these things happen. So really cool game. We've got a real series on our hands. It's an actual show match instead of just a forced 3. And Skyraider in chat points out that DJ probably lost 3 units: a wolf, a boar, and a badger to those sniper balloons of Mishi. So really tough like awareness to have and micro control for when these units came out, because that's rough. That's way rougher than tier 3s, tier 1s running into structures like that.
All right, let's see who gets all the TnTTV bragging rights here. Winning the show match. First show match we've done since our first stream, actually. We put DJ to work on our first stream, man. I think he ended up playing like 12 show matches for us. No, maybe that was our second stream. I can't remember. No, the first stream...
We had one real early, yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was the second one, because the first stream, we got a bunch of replays from Johan, and Nikki did unranked matches for us to spectate. Kind of one-player show matches, so really cool. Big shout-out to both those guys to helping us get started here. Oh, does DJ want to play a normal game? No.
DJ, you can't go back to you're relapsing, DJ.
That's not what we're doing here. Come on, man. Oh, he's going random. What are you doing? Alright, guys. Any tier 3 in defense. Yeah, there we go.
One more try. We got to see how it plays out, boys. This is we got strict rules here on Tooth and Tail TV. We give the people, we stick to our guns unless the first game goes really bad. Then we change our guns.
That's right. Wonder what other kind of crazy rules we can think of.
This will be good. This will be a possibly good start.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, there Mishi is. Maybe needed grab a drink or get up for a minute. That was a pretty long match, to be honest. That was like a 12, 13 minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely was. I think it was 13.
All right.
DJ in chat complaining about defensive structures. I'm telling him it's good medicine for you, man. It's like taking your cough syrup. No one likes the taste, but it's gonna make you healthier overall. You'll thank us in the future.
All right, take it away.
Okay, hopping into this next game, some ultra close spawns. I'm sure DJ's happy about that. I can't wait to see him probably take that gristmill in between them. But we've got Mishi spawning in the 11 o'clock position against his opponent, DJ, in the noon position.
Yeah, I wonder what DJ's strategy is going to be here. I mean, he didn't take the turrets. I think he kind of learned his lesson about not running Owl last game, right? But yeah, he's kind of positioning to take this quick gristmill. And again, I don't know if he's going to commit to it. Right yeah.
Yeah.
This is just him playing mind games, man. That's what he loves to do. I mean, what's he really going to do? Build a gristmill and then a sniper balloon or something? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it. Well, I mean, he would be. I'd be interested to see what the territory looks like after taking a gristmill that close. Like, I'm not even sure how the lines would interact when your gristmill's like only 4 squares apart from one another.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, how would that affect the territory? I guess it would have to be right split in the middle or something, huh?
Yeah, I think you would probably like do a little bit of a weird wraparound thing. Like, I bet you wouldn't get any building space around it. Like, I think their codes probably prevents any craziness like that. But I don't know. Maybe we'll never know. That's a pretty ridiculous thing to do.
Oh, look at DJ, man. Mishi doesn't even know about that base yet, and DJ's sneaking an expansion right underneath Mishi's nose. And if he manages to get like a drumfire cannon there in range of the pigs, man.
He's going to do turrets, though. We know. He's banking up some food. He'll throw down at least 2 turrets and start getting probably... I'm not sure if he can get the middle pigs. I think with the turrets right there, he'll be able to get those first 3 for sure, obviously. But he's going drumfire. Never mind, Delthius, you called it.
Yeah, man.
He gets scouted out right away.
Mishi's doing the exact same thing, though, and I'm not sure if DJ's aware of it. He's not right now.
He's yeah, this is comical. So Mishi's got his drumfire on the other side, and he's got two machine gun turrets coming up to take out that drumfire. And Mishi's playing this structure game well, and I think if DJ doesn't get wise to it, he's going to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, I think it's too late for DJ, man. I'm not sure what he can do from here. He throws down an owl, but I mean, he doesn't have turrets, so he doesn't have like an easy, quick solution to deal with this drumfire cannon. And oh, is it? There it goes. Yeah. Ouch, man. Is that in range of his gristmill? I don't think so.
I think it is.
Oh wow.
It was definitely getting AOE damage on it. I'm not sure if it was it. It is. It is in range of his gristmill.
Oh my God. Is DJ done for? Let's see.
I don't know. He's not giving up. He's going back to that base on the other side and building a drumfire of his own. So he's not going to lose when he loses this gristmill.
Nice little delay targeting from DJ there. Made the drumfire cannon focus his commander for a second. But yeah, these owls aren't going to get out either, man. These aggressive turrets are really doing work, man. The turret meta is good for tier 3 defense only, guys.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, definitely Mishi's in a great spot here. DJ with 0 farms to Mishi's 8, and so we'll see if he's got enough food banked. He's getting these tier 3s down, and so Mishi has yet to have any units on the board. So if DJ can move his Badger pieces in range of Mishi's stationary pieces, we might see a bit of a comeback. I don't know. I like Mishi's spot, though.
Yeah, I think DJ might have went a little too greedy on how many tier 3s he picked, I guess. I mean, it seems really crucial to have those turrets, man, because the turrets are your quick answer that can, get produced really quickly if your opponent tries to do something like proxy a balloon or a drum fire. So at the same time, though, Mishi can't really get into this other base from DJ. Oh, man.
Oh, ouch. Still in range.
I think it was just that one farm in range, though, so I think DJ will be okay.
I agree. I do agree. And it's just pretty rough business here. I was saying DJ's like here in chat, so he's running around in this game, and then he's also chatting.
Oh my
For a second,
God.
I was like, I thought we were watching a replay, and he like hopped out of it or something, but no, this is still live, and I think this is looking pretty good for Mishi.
Yeah, props to DJ for not tapping out of this game. He might actually crawl back in here, and Mishi was floating a lot of money for a long time because I think Mishi just kind of figured, okay, I got this, and he's like, fine, I guess I'll throw down some owls if you're really gonna make me finish you off here. But we'll see, man. I mean, DJ does have an economy. He's not that far behind Mishi, but he's got to get up in tier 3 structure very, very soon. And I don't know, man. I think
and
he took
DJ
too
is
much
feeling
damage.
bad that he didn't take turrets, and so I actually didn't even notice that he didn't have those in his build. I assumed he was gonna try that little cheesiness, and so that was why he built a drum fire at the very beginning, because he couldn't really build anything else, and so I think he's feeling the pain of that solid pick not being in his deck right now.
Yeah, man, and DJ almost got away with it too, right? Like one of those Scooby-Doo villains, but unfortunately, Mishi at the last minute sniffing him out, and it was kind of funny that Mishi went for the exact same thing, and it just kind of paid off better for Mishi. I am seeing a little bit of lag in this game, guys, so it shouldn't be the stream. It's just a live match, but let's see. I mean, this Badger will eventually complete, right? But the first Owl's on its way, and Mishi's got a good little defensive position right here to retreat to, and yeah, I think this is going to be all she wrote for DJ. Yep, that's it.
That's gonna be pretty much it. All right, that was a great show match. I mean, that was we learned some things. We saw some stuff. We got DJ Soak to take no tier 1 units, so that's I'll call that a success on any Thursday night.
Yeah, big props to DJ Soak and Mishi for entertaining us like that and doing that at the last minute. I hit them up earlier today, and they were happy to help us out. So we really appreciate it, guys. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for humoring us.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, are you ready for some Johan Hawk versus Pile action?
I am indeed. Let me just hop to these replays. Extras, replays, Johan Hawk. Got it. Ready when you are.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Spawning in the left-hand side. In the 9 o'clock position, Johan Hawk against his opponent in the red, in the 3 o'clock position, Pile.
Yeah, and they're actually like in the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions this time. That's crazy. Like fairly well. But let's see what they're gonna go for here. I mean, what do you think about these deck choices?
I think they're pretty standard stuff. So I think this game was from the Strawberry Series tournament, which we had the pleasure of casting, and this was an uncast game. So, good luck all you Googlers out there for finding the result of this match, anyways. But this is some good standard tournament deck play. I feel like they're both kind of bringing out their best, most standard winnable decks, with the exception of the Mines, because they'll be interested to see how that works. And that could be, I think this was a patch after the little mine change, so if we see that come out, hopefully it doesn't make too big of a difference.
Yeah, and we got a lot of respect for both these guys. I mean, Pyle got really, really far in the losers bracket, didn't he? Did he?
Yeah, Pyle made it. I mean, it would spoil the overall result of who won this series, but yeah, Pyle was in the grand finals.
Yeah,
I think he took the amateur league, because I think it was Pyle against Skeleton.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I remember now. Yeah, sorry guys, cast too many games here, but yeah, Johan Hawk's got a special place in our heart too, because he was the first guy to ever actually submit us replays to cast, so that's awesome. And I see these guys both a lot on the ladder, and definitely good players here, and kind of got this standard opening coming out of both, right, with the 6 lizards from Pyle versus the squirrel toad split coming out of Johan here, and really gonna have to just see if either one of these players decides to, rush up to like a tier 2 unit, go for tier 3, go for a quick expansion, or just kind of build like, 4 or 5 tier 1 Warrens. And Pyle, going for the crazy plays and getting an early expansion. Love seeing stuff like that, man. 2-minute mark is very early and switches completely out of squirrels into lizards.
Yeah, kind of a little tucked away expansion. I don't think that's going to get scouted for a little while at least. So, I mean, it might, depending on the general path. Pyle's going to move across the map here, building up a big old ball of lizards with between the mines and the toads that Johan's holding up. I really like his defensive position here. I don't think he has too much to worry about against this heavy lizard push coming out of Pyle.
Yeah, man, whenever I spawn positions like Johan Hawk does here, I always feel so tempted to, like, tech up really fast, because I feel like I can defend my front fairly easy, you know, with some, like, warrens, buffering, and the pig damage. It's always fun to try to sneak out a quick tier 2 or tier 3, and he does go for the skunk, but that's a pretty well-timed skunk. That's not, like, a super early skunk or anything like that, so... it's
pretty I mean, yeah, 9 squirrels, 3 toads, and 3 pigeons. That's a good amount of tier 1 before moving up to skunks. And a good idea in general for anyone curious or wanting to experiment with skunks. You do generally need a good amount of tier 1 support. They're pretty crappy on their own. They're not fast, and they don't do their damage quickly, but, man, they're great support units.
Yeah, and I'd say skunks kind of shine a little more against squirrels than they do lizards, right? Because the lizards will move around so much, they might not be in that poison gas cloud as often as like a squirrel who's a little slower and has a better range would be.
So no tier 2s coming out of Pyle yet. It looks like, what is he doing? I guess he's got his expansion, so a lot of this stuff's going to be delayed by virtue of that. I'd like to see a big push coming out of Johan here. Maybe once he gets these snakes up, he's going to start moving out across the map. That's kind of the... I'm not sure if it's still in style anymore, but that's a good way to time your stuff. Like, since everything in this game builds automatically for you anyways, those become your timings. It's like you put down the snake warren and you move out once you have your 2 snakes. And so it's kind of does your job for you in terms of deciding when to attack.
Yeah, I'm getting a little worried for Johan, though, because he kind of missed that window earlier where the economic advantage coming out from Pyle wasn't really kind of established yet, and the money that Pyle invested into his economy, you know, was really hurting his army. But, you know, now Pyle's got a sizable army. I mean, actually even bigger than Johan's here, and Johan's still sitting on 1 base, so... I mean, he's going to have to make a move soon, and I'd really like to see him at least take an expansion, but kind of looking at the map, now that I think about it, an expansion... It's going to be very difficult for Johan here.
It looks like it will. The economy here of Pyle is starting to get into that kind of scary area. He's had it up long enough that, especially once these next 4 farms kick into gear, if Johan doesn't move out soon, Pyle's going to be able to just kind of take his choice of what units to build and get them out real fast. Yeah,
and I like this zone that Pyle is set up with, kind of like positioning his main army on this high ground right here, and then keeping this turret over here, you know, basically for vision more than anything else. I mean, the single turret's not going to defend everything, but it's going to allow Pyle to get his army in position, and he does just that. Johan really needs to get some good toad detonations here, but unfortunately the toads blow up on the turrets, and Pyle's just going to get a full surround here and absolutely decimate Johan Hawk's army.
That was not a great engagement for Johan, so he's going to definitely have to put his tail between his legs, but again, that dreaded 5-minute mark hit. And this is one of those times where it's like putting out all these warrens is really tough for resupplying your army because you just do not have the economy to actually support this many warrens. So looks like he's going to sell off a few things. Yeah, he's going to sell off mines and whatever else he can to try to get these units out because he pretty much only has 1 more chance to make things work. Does he know about that base? He doesn't. So he doesn't even have any idea that Pyle is way up in terms of economy.
Right, he's got to know by now, I think. I mean, there's no way that Pyle could remax that effectively without it. But yeah, it really hurts for Johan, man. If he would have sniffed out that second base by Pyle a little earlier, he might have been able to come in with a timing attack before Pyle's economy really started paying off. But, you know, even with the great toad engagements coming out of Johan here, I don't think it's going to be enough. And Pyle's just in a dominating spot, man. 17 farms to 3.
This is not looking good. I'm thinking that Johan pretty much has no real way back from this, and so I think one more push in, he's gonna stick in it because again, this is like one of those tournament games. So he was playing his heart out, making sure that every game goes to the last second. But all Pyle really needs to do is just kind of move his army in, and that should be all she wrote.
Yeah, and thanks for the follow there, Swifty. Appreciate it, man, and good job in the strawberry tournament, dude.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a throwback to that. So. Well done, Swifty was the winner against...
Chip?
Oh, gosh.
I think it was. Or was it DJ?
No,
it was Swifty versus DJ. Yeah, Chip
Yeah,
did
Swifty versus DJ. Then him and Chip played a show match afterwards,
right? Okay.
Which I think he also did well in. So that was pretty cool stuff. Good weekend for Swifty.
Yeah, man. Good weekend for Tooth and Tail. That weekend was a ton of fun, man. We had that 2v2 tournament on Saturday, and then the 1v1 tournament on Sunday. A ton of fun.
Heck yeah. So the Johan Hawk here is indeed starving. Pyle's got a great army. This is pretty much all she wrote. We're just kind of waiting for the chips to fall where they may.
Yeah, Pyle kind of playing with his food here a little bit, but, you know, this is the correct move to make. Like, yeah, we can see how ahead Pyle is, but you don't have to go in there and kill him, man. Just let him starve, you know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, you don't want to risk taking a bad engagement and losing your army or something, letting the enemy get back in the game. So, great play out of Pyle and Johawk there, for sure.
Tactical starvation.
All right, man. I think this is a completely new submitter. Have we played a game from Caboodle Schmidt?
Caboodle Schmidt?
I think
Caboodle Schmidt checked out our Wednesday cast and decided to send this one on over.
Now, this Master Stealth game, is that the same one we did yesterday?
That's the other one. So Master Stealth gave us 2 games.
Perfect.
So this will be game number 2 between Masta and Calyx.
Oh, well, let's do the Caboodle Schmidt one first.
Yeah, I see him in chat, so let's get to it.
Alrighty, are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we have got in the green, in the 9 o'clock, Caboodle Schmidt against his opponent in the south, Dooku. What do we want to call him, Delthius? Dooku it is. Look at this crazy spawn here for Dooku. Doochu, that's what we're going with?
It's hard to say, but I think that's right. Like, it'd be easier to say Dooku. I don't know.
Look at this insane spawn for Doochu, though. He's got to run a freaking marathon to get around to Caboodle Schmidt's base, and the same is true the other way around. This is crazy.
Dude, look at this freaking jog Hopper's got to go on. Is Eye of the Tiger playing on her iPod or something like that, man? Like, this is a freaking marathon. You got to run to get all the way over to Caboodle Schmidt's base, and really smart move out of Caboodle Schmidt here, just going right up to the 8 farms. I imagine Doochu's going to do the same thing, because it's like, how are you even going to rush on this map, you know, if you tried? And at first glance, I thought this was going to be a really aggressive map, but yeah, man, that wall just completely separates this guys into this definitely archipelago, like, mountainous type terrain here.
Yeah, this is comical, and no player taking flying units along, so there's not going to be any shenanigans with that. We'll see if Drumfire, I mean, even that, like, Doochu here has this huge expanse before the cliffside, so you can't even place any cheeky Drumfires unless he takes the grist mill on the south side, and then Caboodle Schmidt runs all the way around and throws a Drumfire up on the top side. But that would just be ridiculous.
Yeah, and Caboodle Schmidt's got to be careful of that natural base kind of towards Doochu's base a little bit, because speaking of Drumfires, man, if Caboodle Schmidt did take that, Doochu could just set up a turret or a Drumfire right there and actually devastated. There wouldn't be a whole lot Caboodle Schmidt could do.
Yeah, both players taking the right read here. It sounds like Caboodle Schmidt has been playing the game only a little bit as they're talking in chat. And so, yeah, welcome to the community, man, and welcome to Tooth and Tail. So, but rightly reading the map like an expert for some early games of his. These players are both kind of going for heavy economy, which is a pretty safe move considering you'd see someone coming from 1,000 miles away and they'd be moving half speed through this water.
Yeah, and super ballsy play out of Caboodle Schmidt here, man. It's actually a really good read, right? Like he identified his opponent, made the turret, took a bunch of farms, so he matches greed with additional greed of his own and selling off the tier 1 warrants to get his economy going a little quicker. And welcome to the game, man. We're glad to have you here. We're all pretty new. Me and Icebox just started playing a few weeks ago ourselves, and some guys have been around for a year or two in the alpha and beta phase, but.
Yeah, we came in on or around launch time, so
yep.
We are fresh faces as well. Just looking to be some nice administrative assistants for all the new people coming in. We want to be the friendly faces for new Tooth and Tail players and showcase the great stuff that they do on their free time on the ladder.
That's right, and I love crazy maps like this, man. Like, this is what makes me really appreciate the random map generation concept of this game. It's because, I mean, what if your strategy here was to go for like a really strong early to mid game push, right? Like, you would have to completely rethink that because it's just simply not gonna happen, man. I mean, look how defensible these bases are from Doochu here, and likewise for Caboodle Schmidt. So this is crazy, man. I mean, we're getting up to 20 farms each, without a single engagement happening yet.
I don't even know what the fighting in this game is going to look like. There isn't even like an exciting place for two armies to do battle, like except for like maybe in the water. We've got some real dead marshes possibility coming out of Lord of the Rings here, because there's no place for these two armies to clash, and both players have pretty much identical expansion timings. They're at 23 to 22 farms, and yeah, sure, maybe the beginning of this game has been just talking about the boringness of the lack of buildings that they're doing, but sure enough, we've got Duchu here getting some squirrels and ferrets and skunks moving slowly across the water. And Caboodle doing the same.
He's sneaking up for the amphibious attack here, storming the beaches. Let's see if it works out for him. He's getting a couple free good pop shots off on those farms, but the squirrels are not really focusing. A couple of the squirrels are still shooting at the pigs, and that's what really makes like controlling some attacks very difficult. But Duchu somehow does manage to come out on top there and get some really significant damage done with these ferrets. But now the Badger's out. If Caboodle micros this properly and cleans up all these tier 2 units, he's going to be in a fantastic position.
He's in a really great spot, and especially with this map being so far apart, Caboodle going to be able to rebound pretty easily economically, and that Badger just having Agile is a pretty solid counter to these ferrets, since he can... You don't even have to worry about the micro. You just keep him moving, and he's not going to land and get hit by these nasty ferret shots. So really great timing here for Caboodle. Really saved his bacon.
Yeah, man, and I guess when you have like 20 to 25 farms, losing a few doesn't really matter so much, right?
Yeah, not when you're up to that many. And sure enough, right away they're back up to 20 and 20, which is just hilarious. And
wow, so look at the army graph, man. It is neck and neck. Oh, Duchu just barely took a lead.
Yeah, and I think the that expansion here from Caboodle, one of the few times where the map probably makes that a little bit rough, that he gets one extra expansion right there, because there's not a ton Duchu can do about it unless he does what you were suggesting and throws a drum fire up. But with the territory pushed out, that's going to be a little bit harder to get in range.
Yeah, I guess he would have had to preemptively have done that. So yeah, it's really going to come down to this last gristmill, which is slightly favored towards Caboodle territory, but I wouldn't really say by a significant amount. I mean, it's not like Caboodle has any defensive structures that could really help create a zone there or anything like that. So, man, this turned out to be a pretty crazy game here, Icebox. 27 farms at 27.
Yeah, we've got 3 Badgers coming out, 4 Badgers for Duchu and 3 Badgers coming out for Caboodle. So this should be... This is some serious dead marshes stuff. So Caboodle well, you're a big overachiever and a show off. You just started playing the game and you submit a ridiculous replay like this. Well done. This is the kind of stuff we look for here on ToothAndTailTV.
Yeah, no, this is exactly right. Like, this is exactly the type of game we love to see here. And DJ Soak in chat rightly pointing out that Caboodle does have pigeons, while Duchu does not. Oh!
So that does put him into a pretty good position.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. That's actually a really good point. I mean, once you get kind of into this later, like, Badger phase of the game, the pigeons make all the difference, and especially with Caboodle having snakes to boot, it's just going to make it even harder to not be running pigeons.
Yeah, and sure enough, we see that happen as he clears out all of the Badgers of Duchu with 6 Badger Warrens down. I'd like to see Duchu probably sell some of those off. So maybe a little bit of a newer player, but it's definitely one of those economy management things that once you have that many Tier 1 Warrens down, you could just sell off a couple of them to get other Badgers going. Because right now he's just not floating enough food to resupply here. Yeah,
or maybe even just selling off a couple of those extra Badger Warrens. I mean, it's never a bad idea if you invest early into a Tier 3 and you lost it, and you're kind of scrambling to get an army back together. I mean, just go ahead and sell off that Tier 3 Warren, man. It's going to be very difficult when you're on the back foot to save up for 180 food and get another one of those big hero units out.
Yeah, quick correction. Sky Raider actually pointed out that Badgers were coming out first, so just want to point out that DJ Soak is a plagiarizer, and we don't support that here on Tooth and Tail. So come on, DJ. Let's get some original references out here.
Oh, man. And, that last engagement let Caboodle really gain territory over that, quote-unquote contested last gristmill here. And, man, I'm not sure what else Duchu can really do. He's going to have to win this fight handily, but without pigeons, it's going to be very rough. But actually, Caboodle doesn't have any pigeons of his own. He might be thinking his army's a little stronger than it is and overextends a little bit, and Duchu manages to take a pretty clean victory there.
Holy cow, I want to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride. This teeter-totter is crazy between these two Battle of the Badgers here across the marsh.
He's got to be careful with that one super, super low badger at like 1 HP, man. I'm so worried. This is so stressful, dude. Not having any pigeons is so YOLO. It's too YOLO for me, man. I care too much about my hero units to do anything like that.
This is getting pretty ridiculous, and so that's that. I was kind of thinking that this pigeon advantage would be enough for Caboodle Schmidt to just kind of take it pretty easily, but sure enough, we're like running out of farms in this game because everyone took them all so early that they're all burning out at the same time. So we're down to a very meager 9 farms to 8, with a ton of Badger Warrens just kind of sitting out there. But Duchu's up by 3 Badgers against the one with one on the way of Caboodle Schmidt.
Right, if you're not careful with those pigeons now, I mean, they can all kind of fly forward of your army and kind of get eliminated right at the beginning of the engagement. Maybe that's what happened to Caboodle Schmidt last time. I didn't really see, but I was definitely shocked to see he had 0 pigeons, so something definitely wiped all of them.
I think pigeons tend to be forward in your army when you're rallying them, and so the Badger fire they have like no health, and so I'm not sure. It's got to be 1 or 2 shots from the Badger takes out a pigeon. So with the DPS that they've got, they can just clear out that flock of pigeons.
Man, Duchu really needs the space. Like, he's got to make his last stand here and get some farms up because, you know, Caboodle Schmidt's still got that, 8 o'clock base mining fairly well. We didn't see Duchu put a drumfire cannon to zone that out, which is a little bit of a silly idea to begin with. I mean, that's a big investment, but nice placement on the drumfire cannon there. It looks like the RNG COD's kind of intended for that to happen. There's just enough of a little hill to place a defensive structure there, and good call from Duchu to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and Chip kind of pointing out that ferrets that Duchu has would be really good up on the high ground above that mining expansion there of Caboodle Schmidt. But I do think players in this case, even at like higher levels, get such tunnel vision on the front lines like this. If you leave the front for a minute, we kind of saw that in that Tic Tac game. Like if your opponent's aware of where you are and you go all the way across the map, he could pay for it with a couple expansions because the rate at which Badgers can take things out, holy cow, that's a bit of a risk. But I do think that would be a good idea if he was aware. But he doesn't even know that expansion's there.
Yeah, Caboodle Schmidt, though, has been slowly but surely kind of putting together this supreme late-game army, right, of just a ton of lizards, snakes, and pigeons. And this is going to be really hard for Duchu to deal with. And Caboodle Schmidt decides, you know what, I'm not going to take that fight right underneath your drumfire cannon. I'm going to come for the aquatic approach. And let's see if it works for him. It looks like we're getting started here. Is Duchu going to get it? Oh, man, look at all that pigeon healing. Times 11 on the 1 Badger. But surprisingly, at least 1 Badger for Caboodle Schmidt went down there. Yeah, I think another one, but overall, man, that army composition out of Caboodle Schmidt and that extra base worth of economy is just going to be too much.
Holy cow! Yeah, this battle of the Badgers here really turned out pretty well for Caboodle Schmidt. I was a little worried at first that water being the sort of danger of the ferret shots and the drumfire cannons. I was thinking the Badgers were just going to kind of get melted, but they moved just fast enough to dodge them quite a bit.
Yeah, man, I was definitely worried for Caboodle Schmidt at the beginning of that because he lost a Badger, like, basically right at the start of that fight because of exactly what you're talking about, just the slow movement speed in the water, but ended up just absolutely rolling over his opponent, Duchu, here, and really great game, man. This is the type of submissions we definitely like to see, and it's really cool to see, you know, crazy random map generations kind of forcing the game to go into a direction where it otherwise wouldn't, you know?
That was pretty neat to see. Great submission there, Caboodle Schmidt. Thanks for the game.
All right. What do we got next? Ooh, Massive Self versus Calyx Jumi. Game number 2, huh?
Yep, ready when you are.
All right, give me like 2 seconds. I'm going to grab a drink real quick.
All right, I'll take a quick nano break too.
Alright, sorry about that. Are you there, Ice? He was still not with us, but thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate it, and if you're new to the stream, we do this every Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. EST. We normally go for about 2 hours. We try to get through, you know, maybe 12 games a night is usually the goal, and, you know, submit your replays to us, man. We need as many as we can, and you know, the game keeps getting balanced like so often, which is totally fine. But if I think Andy was talking about trying to push the next balance patch on his stream today before the tournament begins this weekend. And if that's the case, I mean, it's going to be significant change, right? Like when there's minor changes, we can still kind of do the replays we have, but I'm a little worried if a huge, like basically balance overall happens, we might have to maybe scrap our old replays. I'm not sure. What do you think, Ice?
Sorry, just hop back. What'd you ask?
If that really big balance change Andy's talking about comes through, we might just have to start doing replays.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
I think we got to nix them. I mean, we might be able. We have a good amount of them. We might be able to do one more show on the back one, but the bigger problem is I think that everyone wants to see all the new stuff. This next change should be pretty huge, and I'm definitely excited about it too. So as long as our viewers are okay with building up some more awesome games for us to cast, then hopefully they'll forgive us if we have to kind of nix the ones on the old patch.
Yeah, man, get to work this weekend if the patch does go live and get us a lot of fresh submissions. Now, I think, though, after the stream tonight, we've basically hit all the unique submitters at this point, I think, right? Or are there still a few floating around?
I don't think there are any new names. There might be one or two that we could even get to tonight if we've got time. But yeah, we've got Afrodynamics, one of the devs in chat, saying that they're hoping to have the patch out this week as soon as tomorrow. So
yeah,
definitely sounds like pretty good chance it'll be by next week if they're late this week. But we'll just kind of see where it goes for now. Let's hop into another one of the devs games, Master Stealth versus Calyx.
All right, are you ready?
I am.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. In the 9 o'clock position, in the green, Calyx Jumi against their opponent, one of the developers of the game. In the 3 o'clock position, Master Stealth.
Now, if the chat is familiar with the name Calyx Jumi, let me know. I don't think I've ever heard of him. Have you?
I see him in Discord, so I've definitely seen them there, but I can't recall tournament things. That doesn't mean they haven't been in a tournament, but I just don't recall off the top of my head. So I've definitely seen their name floating around Discord, but nothing else. So don't know much about their style or anything like that. I like that we're from casting all these replays, we're really starting to get to know some of the styles of a lot of these players. Like those Don Matro games last night, we see that he's this mirror artist of his opponents. He just tries to do exactly what you're doing, but better.
Right. And look at this sneaky cool little mine out of Master Stealth, like right outside of Calyx's base. I'm pretty sure Calyx is aware that it exists. I didn't see for certain, but definitely.
I mean, he had to have seen it just because his grist mill. Yeah, I guess if his commander wasn't around, that's pretty comical though. We'll see. He's going for some early skunks. That's what it was. I thought that was a tier 2 Warren. Yes, we got skunks right away for Calyx.
Wow, just straight up. No tier 1 Warrens at all. Not even 8 farms, man. He is going hard on some early skunks. I love to see stuff like that. And really interested to see how this game plays out, man, because Calyx is kind of running the whole smorgasbord of tier 2 units here, right? I mean, running 3 tier 2 units in a build is pretty significant. And already a skunk on the board just feels so weird. I wonder how Master Stealth is going to react to this.
I'm really interested to see why he went skunk first. Like, it's clearly turning out okay, but you see that skunk going down to like half health.
Right.
Does manage to hold off the squirrels, but that was, what, 3 squirrels? Yeah. So it kind of just shows that skunks do have a little bit of a hard time against any amount of units when they're on their own.
Yeah, and I like this response out of Master Stealth too. You know, he recognizes he can't be too greedy with his economy, going straight up to 8 farms or anything like that, and decides, you know what, you're going to get a quick tier 2 unit out, so will I, and even throws down a balloon, which is essentially mapping his whole like entryway, right? I mean, technically, Calyx could kind of run around, through the northern entrance of that natural expansion and doing an attack through there, but typically something like that, you don't have to worry about as much as you think you would have to. And I love the mine placements out of Master Stealth there too. More so probably to gain map vision of that position than anything else. But now Calyx, do you think he's actually trying to take this expansion here?
I think so. I'm not sure what other positional advantage you would grant him. We've actually got Calyx in the chat right now. It turns out he's also one of the mods of the Discord channel. So
that's awesome.
Pretty big deal, bro. We've got in here. Thanks for joining us, Calyx, and glad to be casting one of your games here. You can give us some of the inside deets on this match. Looks like you're just remembering it. So I like this balloon placement coming out of Masta, because that's clearly based on the map. It's one of the most likely places that he's going to come, and then Masta's got a mine on the other likely place that he's going to come. So just good awareness of the paths that your opponent might take to get to you, and some good defensive placements. So a little bit of a skirmish going on here with the snakes. Going to take out most of those squirrels, but sitting in that gas is not going to feel too great for the army of Master Stealth, and I think it's going to push him back, and he's going to lose everything.
Man, those poison stacks just hurt so bad. That's like the worst feeling in the world, right? Like when you micro your expensive unit back and you think you're getting away with it, and then they just die to that like last tick of poison. Like that always hurts. But
yeah, that engagement was pretty even overall. I mean, I guess both players losing two tier 2 units apiece, along with some tier 1s. Looks like Masta, according to the graph at least, came out a little bit on top, but pretty even loss.
Yeah, and I think this is a really good response out of Calyx too, right? Like if you recognize your opponent invested, a good amount of money in the early game into defensive structures, like those few mines he placed in the balloon, a response like getting an economic lead is a really good one to make. And I'd really like to see Master Stealth take his own expansion. Sure enough, he does, because now it's kind of getting past that point where it's like, oh crap, don't attack me because I invested all my money into my economy. It's starting to get more to that phase where it's like, okay, Calyx's economy is going to be better and his army is going to be better if Master Stealth doesn't do something to kind of stay even on economies. So right now, I think they're in fairly even positions. I mean, Master Stealth looks a little bit ahead on the army graph, probably because of his defensive structures, I'd imagine. Nice sneak attack move coming out of Calyx, but the counter attack out of Master, he's going to get the poison stacks on that gristmill, and it's going to be enough to take it down. No, that's going to feel so bad. Okay, barely not enough. Calyx,
This is kind of what happens. We obviously have no idea who wins this game, but I feel like in the last Master Stealth versus Calyx game, Master just looks like he was getting his kind of butt kicked the entire game, and then ended up kind of winning. I'm not sure if that's going to happen here, but it just looks like Calyx got a way better engagement right there.
Yeah, but Master Stealth barely managing to take out that gristmill, which is huge. I mean, that throws him back down to equal footing here, and Calyx is investing in several Falcons, but I'm not sure if they're going to be out in time. And man, that was a very clutch engagement. Oh, that poison barely killing the skunk, man. That always hurts. The snakes are so good, man.
Ticks. Yeah, snakes are real good. They're getting some big nerfs. I guess we can still pull that up a little bit later and talk about some of the big changes coming, because snakes are gonna get hit with that nerf hammer pretty hard here in a little bit.
Yeah, I don't blame them, man. I've been using snakes a lot lately, and they do feel a little too powerful to me as well. I mean, poisoning buildings is kind of silly, but at the same time, the pigeon nerf is gonna, or pigeon fix rather, is gonna radically change so much, right? Like, is a snake gonna be as good when it doesn't have 3 pigeons healing it, I don't know. I
think that, yeah, overall, I agree with pretty much all the changes that we kind of see coming down the pipe for Tooth and Tail. Because, yeah, snakes poisoning buildings is kind of whatever. I wasn't totally against it. Like, if it's an acidic thing, maybe it makes sense. But from a mechanics perspective, it does just make them a little bit too versatile and all-purpose.
Right. Yeah, they kind of fill the role of the ferret if you use them correctly and if your opponent doesn't go too crazy on defensive structures. But let's see, Massa is positioning himself for another engagement here. He does have the better economy, but Calyx really isn't that far behind with his 12 o'clock base, so we'll have to see how much damage these wing demons manage to get out. And interesting to throw a couple toads into the mix from Calyx here. I don't actually mind it because yeah, there's no lizards around, but if the squirrels don't prioritize those toads and the toads get up on the squirrels, I mean, toads will wreck squirrels just as hard as they wreck lizards if they actually get the chance to detonate.
Also, this defensive play out of Master, I think he's essentially trying. It looks like he's trying to bait Calyx out to come in within range of his sniper balloon, and it's kind of interesting because that definitely kind of saved him on the earlier engagement when he fought around that gristmill. It's kind of like some really tricky positioning for Calyx, and then some good defender's advantage with the Warren health and the balloon attacking there. But Calyx taking a sneaky play with these Falcons coming around, but it's going to get aggroed onto these squirrels, and let's see if Master can take it out. But no, flying across the water. They move at normal speed. Pretty nice stuff.
Fantastic little harassment play out of Calyx there, man. Every little edge you can get definitely helps, and Calyx has really got to get up to that other farm and start saturating it. It looks like he should be getting on top of that just now. Yeah, get that extra one. Yeah, there you go. All right.
There it is.
Beautiful. Man, this is pretty crazy, right? I mean, I'm not even sure what to make of these engagements anymore. Like, Calyx keeps coming up on top, and he's got a little bit of a inferior income, or at least it seemed to for the longest time. And Calyx is finally able to take down that balloon, which is going to take a lot of the oomph out of Master Stealth's position here. And again, man, I mean, yeah, Master Stealth definitely came out on top there, but
not by too much. That choke there is really rough for Calyx. I was actually surprised that he did as well as he did. It takes such a long time to get in there. I suppose with Skunks, a choke is kind of an advantage if your opponent decides to move in on you, because the gas just fills the area so much better. So that was really the benefit there. I'm not sure if that was like more Master Stealth's over engagement into the choke or Calyx's excellent positioning, but either way, it worked out well for him.
Right, and that extra kind of emergency balloon Master Stealth had sitting in the little bit south of the front lines really paid off there. And Calyx, get up there and saturate that base, Calyx. You can do it. Oh, he's trying another sneak attack with his Wing Demon, but thinks a little better of it, and comes back to kind of position in the middle and kind of contain. And I don't know, man, maybe the move to make if you're Calyx here is to not really go in, not take the fight where Master Stealth wants you to, right? Like, do you just kind of concede those two bases to him and go for a more, like, gobble up the map and try to starve him out approach? But you gotta be careful, man. That ferret harassment is so strong, and I love playing with ferrets, man. It's a lot of fun. They feel really cool because they're kind of like this high-risk, high-reward Tier 2 pick, right? I mean, they don't do as much for you in a direct engagement as the other Tier 2 do, but you can do some really cool stuff, like sit there and snipe out buildings and defensive structures for free, which is always feels really nice.
I do think the play here is to kind of concede that area, because this is, I mean, it hasn't gone poorly for him yet, but that is just such a scary area to fight in with two sniper balloons now kind of guarding that gristmill and the choked out area. That's got to be tough, even with Skunks on the board. That's a tough engagement to make, and Master Stealth definitely taking advantage of it. I would maybe opt for just going for those two gristmills, but Calyx is not interested. He's going to move in, get some good toad detonations while these Skunks lay down their gas. It's tough to see that gristmill blocking most everything. It looks like Master's losing almost everything, and Calyx doesn't have much to speak for of his own, but definitely gets the better hand on that engagement.
Yeah, for sure, man. That looked really good for Calyx, knocking out all those important Tier 2 units, and it looks like he's finally found a way to kind of get in here, sneak around Master Stealth's 3 balloon positioning right at the front choke, and get some critical damage done here. And the rallies feel bad, man. I saw a Wing Demon get picked off by those snipers on the way over, and that's always rough to deal with.
That's kind of a tricky thing. I wonder if anything will ever change way down the line in the game, because it's kind of it's painful sometimes when you're rallying, because you just kind of lose a rough amount of units sometimes based on the way the maps kind of turn out.
Right.
And so it can be a little bit painful. I'm not sure what in the world they'd be able to do about it, but it would be nice if there was sort of a kind of stay-at-home command, or like only rally the units on the screen button, something like that. But
yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of cool, right? Like, you got to be careful about rallying different additional reinforcements in the path that they choose to go about doing that on. And man, massive positioning these ferrets over here to get some more free damage done is really cool. And I love when mid games kind of devolve into these positions, right, where neither player has secured an insane economy or anything like that. It's been scrappy the entire time. They've been trading back and forth. I mean, we're 12 minutes into this game, and they both only have a handful of warrants here because just how close it's been and how evenly matched these players are.
True that. I'm trying to see if we've got anything exciting coming up. We've got still just some snakes and resupply. These guys are just kind of chilling out on a somewhat low economy and sticking with the composition that they have. Calyx decides to sell off his skunk warren a little while back, or got it destroyed by those ferrets, I suppose, and is just kind of boosting up a few more squirrels. I think that's going to put Master Stealth in a little bit of a better position. Those skunks were putting in work.
Wow, did you see that too? Master Stealth actually sold off his ferrets before they both died there to get the unit refund. That was really smart because those ferrets were totally done for.
That is a really it's like he developed the game, and he knows these tricks and when to take advantage of them.
No way. I mean, Calyx is playing the right game here. I mean, if I was Calyx, this is kind of what you got to shoot for. I'd like to see him invest more into his economy. But that's kind of easy to say from a caster's perspective because, I mean, you're playing on a knife's edge in situations like this, guys. If you build a few too many farms and your enemy invested that money into army, I mean, you can just get rolled over in an engagement. But Calyx is doing a really good job on trying to keep Master Stealth contained to those two bases. It looks like he finally conceded, like, okay, I'm not going to be able to bust through those balloons, but, I'm not going to let you take any more gristmills.
Super back and forth here, and that was definitely Calyx getting the upper hand on yet another engagement. He's going to kind of take out some of the production lines here, and with that Falcon in the back, unless Master Stealth's able to focus him down, it's going to really put in some work. One of those snake ticks is enough to take it out. That's going to be a little bit painful.
No.
I think that's going to be somewhat the end of this push, possibly with the reinforcements of Masta, but at the same time, the Squirrel slowly but surely walking into those balloons.
Yeah, man. I'm
pretty painful.
I'm just watching all these units die over here. He's lost, like, a Falcon or two, several Squirrels. Like, that sucks, man. But, that's the positioning advantage of defensive structures, I think it's totally fair. Like, you gotta be careful with your rallies in situations like that. Or how we saw in the show match where a couple of DJ's tier 3 units just kind of walked right into all the defenses of Mishi. Like, seems to be a recurring theme tonight here at Icebox.
It does indeed. The economy here in this game is just comical. Like, I just don't see what Master Stealth can do here with only a couple balloons and 3 Squirrels against a relatively much better army here from Calyx with 9 Squirrels, 3 Pigeons, selling off. Was that a Pigeon? Was that a Squirrel Warren? Or he sold off his Falcons. All right, I'm not sure he's probably going to throw down a bunch of tier 1s after this, or he's just trying to reposition them. So that makes a lot of sense too, so he doesn't lose it for free coming up into this renewed mid-game.
Yeah, both these players kind of knocked back to the Stone Age here, and I think Calyx has just done too good of a job all game, really making sure Master Stealth was limited to those 2 bases, and at the same time, Master did a great job of defending this area, but at this point, both those bases are basically mined out, and it's going to be really hard for Master Stealth to really get anything done at this point. I think Calyx just kind of boa constricted him a little too well in previous few minutes. But as I'm saying that, Master Stealth's defender's advantage here pays off for him and totally wipes out Calyx Jumi's army. I mean, maybe this gives Master Stealth enough breathing room to secure another gristmill here, or just simply try to end the game.
Oh man, it looks like he's just going to push across the map. Is this going to be like a little bit of a base trade scenario? I mean, if he's careful, I guess he can take out these Squirrels with the Skunk. But now this is crazy. Yeah, it's kind of in a different position. Master Stealth now starving, so he's got to make it work with what he's got right now.
Yeah, going straight for the gristmill.
He's going to go for the gristmill. Does he not know about that other one? He doesn't. Oh, he sees the pig farming it, but I think he must have forgotten because he's going to get kind of cleared out here, and I think Calyx is going to end up clearing out this game here.
Man, what a super close match, That is crazy, man. If Master Stealth may have just hung back a little bit at the end, he maybe could have done something, but at the same time, I understand why he would make that move because, he had no economy, and he understood the fact that his opponent still had a couple farms up there. So great play out of both those two.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Sarcade. Welcome to the Tooth and Tail TV family. Glad to have you here, and sit down and stay a while. Enjoy the community.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so looks like we got a 2v2 coming up with a lot of familiar names here. I'm pretty excited for this one.
Yeah, ready when you are.
Ooh, yeah, and we got a match from Skyraider and Swifty on the board tonight. I didn't even see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was one of the ones Skyraider was talking about it last night in chat, that he had a couple submissions he was hoping to see. So I got you, buddy. Skyraider made sure to throw one in there.
Right on. All right, let's do this. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Calyx, and thanks for that awesome game that we just watched. I mean, I think Masta submitted it, but you won it, man, and that's what we're all about here. So in the left-hand side, we've got Nikki and their teammate Insane Jester against their opponents across the map, Alogian and Shotguns 25. Alogian, the pixel artist master here. I think he was responsible for a lot of the help, assistance, teamwork, whatever, with the Lizard Wizards, and he's putting together those Christmas ferrets that we're hoping to probably include in a future cast. So,
oh yeah,
great stuff. Love having these artists around, especially for someone like me who's very artistically disabled.
Right.
I love taking advantage of some of this cool stuff that the community puts out.
All right, so let's look at these builds a little bit. Logian taking the moles. Interesting, especially this is probably post mole nerf, but I guess it makes sense in 2v2 games still to maybe take it as a buffer, just in case.
I think this patch is completely the recent one. They're playing unofficially tournament rules where only one player can take a mole. So
right.
Good on them for respecting that tradition. I'm not sure what format this game was in, but it's gonna be great.
I mean,
in terms of go for it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say this feels like it's kind of a staged isn't the right word, but like planned 2v2. You know, like I've seen all these guys before. I think most of them or all of them have submitted replays of the show, and I think they all got together to play a 2v2 game or something. What do you think? They probably know each other.
I think so, and I mean that's the kind of cool thing they're working on, like getting more Discord integrations in with this game. And so I think that this community being so kind of tight knit, more tight knit than any gaming community I've been a part of. And so these guys, you just see people in chat saying like, "Hey, who's up for some 2v2s?" And so once you find a group that's kind of fun to play with, you can just keep going. So we've got Nicky moving in here to get a couple farm snipes. He's gonna get 2. Is he gonna keep some lizards? He manages to keep 3. Pretty impressive. That was definitely a good trade.
Oh, look at all these moles out of Insane Jester here. That is crazy.
Some good coordination here. Hey, thanks for the follow. Go eat coconuts. Welcome to ToothAndTailTV family. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy these games. Yeah,
the mole follow-up attack to the rush is really interesting, but man, these turrets I think got up just in time to deflect it out, and that's going to put Ologian in a fantastic position here. You know, despite his teammate taking a little bit of damage, and love to see that teamwork coming out of these guys, right? Like it looks like Ologian is just going hard on this early defense, and Shotgun's kind of taken care of. Make a few of the units. He might try to do something crazy like rush up to a Badger here shortly. So that's really neat. And on the other side here with Nicky and Jester, let's see what their plan is. Now, so far it looks like Nicky is really just trying to keep the aggression on, and Jester looks to be taking a hidden base, and both bases getting taken at the 12 o'clock position. If they can manage to kind of secure that map zone as their own, that's going to put them in a great spot this game.
They don't seem to have a great deck for sectioning off big parts of the map, but definitely if they build up a big enough army. St. Jester has yet to put down a Warren. Obviously, he's built some moles, but we'll see. There they go. Starting with 2 tier 3s. Sure enough, he was banking up food, getting a Badger and a Wolf on the way from Insane Jester.
So this is really cool. It's like both teams are going for this like really teamwork dependent strategy here, where Nicky and Jester kind of chose to go for a lot of tier 1 and have the teammate go straight to tier 3, where Logian and Shotgun here just opted for a ton of defensive structures. And look at this play, man. This is what we've been talking about lately, abusing the flying capability of the wing demons to almost take Gristmill out. Gets cleaned up by lizards there, but definitely A for effort, man.
Still, I love seeing those things. The tons of defensive structures here coming out for Logian. Now this is the kind of thing you need to do if you want to section off the map. So unfortunately they got a bit of a bad hand drawn to them for what they're sectioning off, because they do not have many expansions to their name. Because sure enough, Shotguns is trying to take. Looks like they're trying to be the river folk of this map. They're going to take all these river expansions and leave the landlubbers here, Insane Jester and Nicky, to their couple gristmills as well.
So we got the Greyjoys versus Lannisters here, or something like that. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Man, look at these drum fires on these tiny little islands that are like built just for them. That is cute and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, I think at some point we'll probably see Logian sell those and kind of move them to the front lines, because as they begin to take this bottom quadrant of the map, they're definitely going to need to push these defenses forward. But I just love seeing drum fires. They're so good at their job.
Man, they're so hard to deal with too, dude. Like I'll try to answer them with ferrets, and even that feels very, very hard. Like ferrets don't. Sure enough, all those lizards get nuked by that one drum fire as they try to make a little push in on Logian's defenses there. Yeah, and unfortunately for the blue and yellow team here, they're going up against some hard World War I style stuff, and they don't have any ferrets or particularly long-range units to deal with it. It might just come down to trying to control the... loses the Badger and the Wolf there.
That was about as rough. Did he lose his commander? I think he did. That was why that happened.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, no player is going to be not babysitting their tier 3s like that. So that was just a really rough instance right there on that one.
Yeah, good game sense out of Nicky here, knocking out this extra gristmill for his enemy team before he can get established. But I don't know, man. This is looking really good for Logian and Shotgun. Like, what do you think Insane Jester and Nicky really need to do from here?
Well, that was a really shitty thing to happen, losing that Badger and Wolf, because that was their timing definitely was lining up well until he lost those. Because they could have started to kind of make a push and generally keep Logian and Shotguns on their tiny little islands. Don't let them expand the way that they're doing right now. But again, since that Badger and Wolf died, it was a little bit tough for that timing. So they've got another 2 out. Let's see if they actually make something happen, because I think they cannot engage on this whole 3 o'clock side of the map. They've got to just sweep around the bottom left side, hopefully before that drum fire that Logian just put up.
All those lizards, man, just getting decimated, dude. 2v2 looks like so much fun, man. I gotta start playing more of it. I wanna be the Elogian here. I wanna be the guy building a million defensive structures everywhere, but Jester and Nikki here finding a good pocket, little entry point to get some damage done, and managed to re-secure some of the map zone and break out of the contain a little bit, but these tier 3 units got to stay alive, and it's unfortunate. Jester's got the pigeons. He really needs to mix those into his army, but with how many tier 3 units he's lost at this point, I can see why that's easier said than done.
Holy cow, Insane Jester there playing with fire with these ultra low health tier 3 units. I'd love to see him throw down some pigeons, but I guess he's kind of running a little bit too low on money to get that built up.
Yeah, it's rough when you're on 4 farms, and Elogian still hasn't built a single warren here. This is hilarious. I mean, he's got the money to now. I think he's just having fun. He's like, can we win this game without me building any units? Let's find out. I mean...
yeah, I'm not even sure what he'd want to build to be that useful. I mean, I guess he could just go ham on some lizards, but a little bit, because of their spawns, there's some good building area, but for the amount of lizards he could potentially build right now, there's not too much area.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing that's definitely tough about playing on islands, right? Like, sure, you're pretty easily defensible, but when you spawn on an island where the vast majority of your structure placing area is taken up by water, it can be very difficult for sure.
Hey, sure enough, Delthius, check out that southern area. What Elogian's doing with money.
Oh my god. Holy moly, Icebox.
Yes, there it is. That is a Tooth and Tail sponsored pun right there.
Yeah, I finally get to say it. All right, here we go. Oh, the mole's coming in! So many moles!
Look at these guys go.
This is insane! Get in there! Oh god, I can't wait for this. I don't think I've ever wanted anything more in my life than to watch these moles engage.
I just wish I could come up with more puns, but they're not coming to me fast enough. With these 16 farm mole production, Elogian is making a death push across the map. Can a Badger out DPS many crazy little moles and hard hats? With that Swift, they can kite pretty much all day,
Get in there, moles!
Pretty ridiculous. And Elogian's like, nah, I'm just going to take out your gristmills, bro.
Elogian's just all like, alright man, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to build like 50 defensive structures, right? And then I'm going to sell them all and build like 40 moles and just go in there and wreck them. That was insane, man. I was not expecting that. This is such a good replay submission. Thank you so much, guys, for giving us this one. This is definitely one of my favorites. That is so many moles, man.
This is an unbelievable amount of moles. And now with the Badger of their own, they're looking like in a great spot. I wasn't even sure what happened to the Mole-Wolf combo of Insane Jester. I think the Wing Demons made the targeting hard enough for the Badger to kill. Like, the Badger was just killing all these moles, but those Wing Demons were just DPSing the hell out of the tier 3s of Insane Jester. And that was enough to take them out. I'm not sure they have an answer to this. How many moles is it? 38 moles still of Elogian.
Man, these moles are on a roll, and I think it's gonna put their opponents in an early grave hole. That's all I got.
These moles are indeed burrowing graves for the opponents, Nikki and Insane Jester. What a game.
Dude, that was so amazing. I am extremely happy right now. Yeah, he sold off all his defensive structures. Like, he just pulled the trigger at one point. He was like, okay, that's enough. No more stalling. Let's build 40 moles and go. That was great, man.
Yeah, it sounds like that was the plan the whole time.
We're gonna think it was. That, it probably makes sense, because, like, why else would you take the moles, you know? Alright. Orinoco versus...
That was pretty excellent. We just kind of chatting with the guys from that game. Mishu's asking if we save the super epic replays. We do save all the replays from the casts. Some of them are tough because these versions are killing us. So it's like we're not... Even if a replay is phenomenal, it's pretty unlikely we're going to go back to check it out, even though they're pretty fantastic. Like that one. That one's one that I'm going to remember forever, but pretty much this weekend it's going to be unwatchable.
Yeah, well, you'll have the VOD, right? We can watch it there.
We've got the VOD.
All right, so Orinoco versus Bad Ice King. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
No desync issues for us. We're on the latest patch. In the 6 o'clock position, our red player, Orinoco, against his opponent in the noon position, Bad Ice King.
Now, we do see Bad Ice King running the moles here. And, well, no, he did queue up his 5th farm, so let's see if he's going to do anything cheeky. Well, I guess first he's got to find his opponent, but both players opting for the Fox and Balloon and Ferret, actually, so kind of similar picks coming out of these guys, and, you know, slight differences. You know, Orinoco kind of got that holy trinity of Tier 1 units, the Squirrel Toad Pigeon combo, which is always really standard and safe to pick, and meanwhile Bad Ice King kind of rolling the dice a little bit on his Tier 1, opting to not take the Pigeons, not take the Toads, and get a little more flexibility in his overall composition instead.
Bad Ice has got to be a little bit frustrated because he's, yeah, he has yet to find his opponent. He's going to find them now, but that's always a little bit rough in the game. You get a little bit worried and even more frustrated if you get cheesed when you just get a rough spawn and aren't able to find your opponent, but it's going to turn out okay. They're on even farms in Orinoco going up to 2 Warrens.
Yeah, this isn't really the map for a ton of early aggression, right? I mean, it's a very long attack path here for both players. Both players surprised. Now, Bad Ice is doing some badass stuff over here, man. Getting a snake so early, like 5 farm Tier 1 Warren snake. Like that's just preposterous, man. It's unheard of.
Yeah, this map distance. I wonder if this is just kind of a strategy that he's doing anyways, or if he's kind of rightly analyzed the play style here and the units coming out of Orinoco and is like, cool, I can get these snakes, no problem.
Yeah,
it's going to pay off for him because Orinoco's trying to rally things across the map, but just look at how slow these squirrels are, even on the cobblestone.
That's a really good point, actually. I mean, if you are in a map that's got a really long attack path or just a really big map in general, you know, it's not as big of a risk to go ahead and tech up to your favorite Tier 2, Tier 3 armies in your mix. And I even would have liked to see somebody do something crazy like a fast Fox Rush in these positions, but now Orinoco is aware that snakes exist, and Orinoco's playing it smart. You know, taking an early expansion, needs to go ahead and get the rest of those farms saturated on his base. Hopefully that's what he's coming back to do. No, actually, he sold a couple things. What is he up to?
Maybe he's trying to go for a kind of zoning sniper balloon out, and he's actually trying to gear up for a big push. He's definitely putting up that sniper balloon now, so that could be part of it, but kind of interesting to sit down back on 6 farms, because 9 squirrels is cool, but I don't know, against these 2 snakes, Bad Ice King is going to be in an okay position.
Right, it feels, you know, sometimes mistakes happen and you forget a farm, or, you know, I don't even want to say it was a mistake. Maybe Orinoco is going for something we're not even thinking about here, but yeah, you definitely want to try to get up to those 8 farms on your first gristmill as soon as possible. And Bad Ice doing the bane of all defensive structured lovers here, you know, trying to run around and find a flank. But luckily for Orinoco, he's totally sealed off, man. That is the only entrance into his base, and there's 3 gristmills that he can easily defend if he sets up a strong defense position here. So really good, you know, map roll of the dice for Orinoco. And while the enemy's army is out of position, he's coming in here to get some serious damage under this gristmill. I don't think he's going to be able to finish it off. Yeah, Bad Ice is going to get back in time, but definitely stressful for sure.
Still sitting back on 6 farms. I don't totally get it. I'm hoping that I'm going to be taught something here, because this is looking really rough economically. I think that Bad Ice King's going to have a hard time pushing in, because those sniper balloons can definitely make short work of, you know, the army that Bad Ice King has, but just sitting on these farms is kind of painful. He's going to throw some down now, but still is only up to 7 farms.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a mistake at this point, right? And it happens, guys. I mean, sometimes you just kind of get caught up in the moment and are thinking about the next phase and just forget a building or two, and it's no big deal. But I'm really worried about this Fox coming out of Bad Ice here. I mean, Orinoco's actually got a pretty good answer to the Fox in the form of these balloons here. So, you know, I think Bad Ice might want to try to get in here and, like, maybe try to take out one of those balloons so he can run the Fox by, or I'm not sure. How do you think he's really going to be able to utilize the Fox in this kind of position?
I don't think he is. Sniper balloons essentially are supposed to be the counter to Fox. I mean, Fox obviously can't shoot buildings, and the sniper balloon does pretty decent damage. It was buffed in a recent patch, so I think it's probably 2 shots. I think they do 18 damage. It's 2 or 3 shots to kill a Fox, and so it's going to be pretty hard unless he keeps his army with the Fox to kind of buffer some of these shots. So some good micro coming out of Bad Ice King here, and is still going to get the bad end of this engagement, especially after losing that snake. Almost loses his commander, which is always a good time to capitalize.
Ooh, Orinoco's commander does go down, but there's not going to be a lot Bad Ice can do. I am so worried about that Fox, man. No, it's so low. Ah! Yeah, that hurts, man. You cannot
Sure enough,
lose.
man, those sniper balloons, man, watch out.
Yeah, you got to really respect those sniper balloons when you're playing with Foxes, and The sniper balloons are really cool kind of addition to the defensive structure gambit, right? Because, you know, ferrets can't deal damage to them, and ferrets are typically seen as like the answer to defensive structures. So, and also they seem more geared towards taking out like, you know, expensive tier 2 and tier 3 targets. But really cool to see more and more players utilizing the balloons here. But I think Orinoco's ready to pull the trigger, man. He's won several engagements at this point. He's got kind of his core rounded out army together. He's got the pigeons, which are really going to help add a lot of value over time as his units get healed back up and don't die. And you know, this pressure is going to be pretty real coming out of Orinoco here. Again,
sitting just kind of on 6 farms. I'm surprised. I mean, I guess this great defensive play has been enough to keep him alive, and he's going to throw down a few more. But that 5-minute mark has come and gone. His main base is kind of mining out, and Bad Ice King is. They're finally now on equal farms. So for the first time, economically equal with another Fox on the way for Bad Ice King. And, ooh, Orinoco's commander dying. Let's see if Bad Ice King's able to capitalize on it. He's going to micro this snake. It's going to go down, and Bad Ice King's looking in a little bit of a rough spot. There's a lot of... This army's on autopilot right now, and it's still doing okay.
So Orinoco actually did eventually take those 7 and 8 farms around his main base. I think he kind of noticed about 2.5 minutes ago, but... Yeah, I mean, hey, it might help him out now because now those farms aren't going to mine out as fast, right? Silver lining?
That could be it. There you go. That's the strategy. He was going for the long con he knew the kind of game he wanted to play.
Yeah, man.
Now he's going to retreat back to the safety of these sniper balloons.
Ooh, gets a ferret. That's going to be a big help for Bad Ice here, and Bad Ice just took too much damage in that earlier engagement, and that's kind of the risk you're taking with going for a really fast tier 3 unit, guys. Like, if you lose that tier 3 unit before it gets a lot of value, it's really hard to come back from that, man. Like, I've been playing with Badgers a lot on the ladder, and if I try to, like, rush out a Badger and it dies in, like, my first engagement with it, you know, I very rarely ever come back and win from that point because that's so much money you dumped into that tier 3 unit that didn't really accomplish much.
That's why I kind of like these more slow build-up to tier 3. Oh, man, the Fox going down. That's pretty painful. Can't let that happen, Mr. Bad Ice. These slow build-ups to tier 3 are always kind of fun because then it's not the end of the world. Like, tier 3 rush is fun. It's a fun way to win the game. It's pretty fast, but it can be pretty painful because it's kind of like you need to just sit back, build up this tier 3 unit, and then it's based on that. I like to get them out and kind of make them a piece of my army rather than the entire crux of it.
Right. Yeah, getting out the tier 3 unit, like, probably around the time you saturate up your second base or something is probably the appropriate time for it, where it's not as big of a roll of the dice, but it's always fun to do that a little early tier 3 wackiness, and it doesn't always work, man. Like, a lot of games I'll run in with a quick Fox thinking I'm being sneaky and just get absolutely overran by like 30 lizards or something, you know?
Right.
I think that's basically going to be all she wrote for this game. I mean, Bad Ice sticking in there trying to get another gristmill, but he is just too far behind at this point. I like that he sold off all his other warriors trying to just get one more Fox out, have a little more fun before the game ends, but Orinoco is not going to let that happen. Coming in here to seal the deal, and you know, Bad Ice is just going to have to tap out from here.
This guy is not giving up. I don't know if he might not know yet that there's a surrender option in the menu. He's gonna throw down some farms, probably, maybe 10 seconds left. You might not be aware that starving means you lose the game. Looks like that's going to be how this ends. 3, 2, 1, and Bad Ice starves to death.
Bullet. Never give up, never surrender, man. He's an alkalite of Buzz Lightyear.
Play it to the bone.
Okay. What do we got left? We got 2 more, man. We can muscle through 2 more, right?
Oh, heck yeah. Sky Raider, this one goes to you. I don't know who submitted this. I mean, I assume Sky Raider did because he was asking about it. So, Sky Raider v. Swifty.
All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, we've got in the red, in the 3 o'clock position, Swifty against his opponent in the 6 o'clock position, Sky Raider.
Really interesting, man. Swifty still running that like 5 tier 1 and then a tier 2 or a tier 3 build. So I'm interested to see how well this works in a little bit of an evolved meta that we've got nowadays, which is a little bit past that style. I mean, maybe this replay might be from last week or something. It's crazy when I'm saying that the meta's evolved where it's been like a week or something, right? But overall, I think Sky Raider's build is a little more up-to-date, quote-unquote. But, you know, a lot of these high-end guys, man, they really like to have all those tier 1 options available to them because the early game is so important in Tooth and Tail, and if you can really just kind of out-mind game your opponent, like start building squirrels, sell them off, build lizards, come in there and blindside them. I mean, there's a lot of crazy little things you can do when you have that full set of tier 1 units available to you.
Swifty not getting the scout off on Skyraider probably interrupted some of his early game plans, because if he was going to plan on mole rushing at all, he definitely missed the boat because he just kind of got unlucky with his scouts and didn't find Skyraider until just now. So I think that might be part of his game plan that got a little thwarted by some bad scout luck.
Right, I think that's definitely what he was trying to go for, because he was floating a lot of money, and you know, Swifty's one of the top players in Tooth and Tail right now. He's the current reigning tournament champion here, so somebody like that's not going to be floating money for no reason. Speaking of which, I wonder what he's got. Is he going for the quick badger? Is he going to do it? Oh yeah, I love it, man. Oh man, I love it.
Super fast badger, and Skyraider here is going to scout it out immediately, question mark. Yep, he sees the tier 3. Let's see how he responds. He's got a good little force coming out, but 6 squirrels and 3 pigeons kind of moving that far across the map is going to be pretty easy to hold with what Skyraider has right now.
Good response out of Skyraider, too, to just go ahead and throw down his own tier 3 Warren, because you only have limited options when you do something like that. When you scout your enemy going for such a fast tier 3, and Skyraider kind of got lucky that he scouted just in time, right? So his tier 3 placement isn't like miles behind his opponents, and it's not really, it's not right to say he got lucky. I mean, he's doing a really good job on maintaining consistent scouting of his opponent, but it was very good for him to realize that's what was going on so quickly and kind of make the appropriate play himself. And kind of interesting that Skyraider did decide to go for a tier 3 rush instead of a big like tier 1 Warren push, because that could be the answer too, right? There's a concept called a timing attack, you know, where if Skyraider had made a bunch of tier 1 stuff and was hitting like right now, before the badger is done, I mean, he could absolutely run over Swifty. But man, Swifty is putting together a pretty brutal army here, man. He's going for that crazy pigeon badger play. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this like right out of the gate for the first engagement. This is nuts.
Going ham. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen this kind of pigeon transition before, but not quite timed this tight, because I mean, he's getting this badger out right as soon as these 15 pigeons all finish, and so this will be pretty funny. Let's see how much one unit can do against an army, as long as it has pigeons to support it.
Yeah, I think it's going to really come down to that fox, man. If you can get a lot of value out of this fox and poke down a bunch of those pigeons and maybe even get a couple shots off on the badger, yeah, and that's got to be really painful for Swifty to deal with, because he can't even really try to contest this fox, because he knows Skyraider would be able to just micro that fox back and forth, and the badger will never quite get in range. So Swifty's responding pretty well by going for a bunch of lizards. I mean, lizards are really good against the fox, I feel like, because they can eventually catch up with a fox and maybe box him into a corner or something, but that hurts, man. Swifty went over to try to build a farm at his expansion and left his units a little unmicroed, and Skyraider is just racking up the kills on this fox.
That's kind of what we were talking about. Like, it does get to a tough point in the game. Once you kind of establish this front line where you're staring at each other, we got an engagement coming in real quick. Pigeons and lizards dying to a couple toads. I like Skyraider's position here. This badger's got to really put in work. He's obviously the entire backbone of the army. He's going to take out this first snake pretty quick, second snake pretty quick. The pigeon's putting in some major work, canceling out those snake stacks, and he does get a pretty good engagement. I mean, I think that was at least even. The fact that they both lead with their tier 3 units definitely serves them both well for not losing too much in that fight.
Damn, yeah, that was basically completely even trade there, and Skyraider's continuing to wrap up additional value on the back end by just sniping off more and more of these pigeons. And I love to see really good fox micro from high level guys. It's really awesome to see how much value you can get with that unit. And these toads, oh nice, and he does eventually gets the badger kill with that fox. Great for Skyraider here. And you know, Swifty, if he can manage to kind of hang in here, I mean, all he's really got to do is get another badger up, but Skyraider should smartly, you know, not give him that breathing room, right, and come in here and continue his tempo advantage and keep getting things done on the map.
Most definitely. Swifty going for the 27 lizard follow-up, seeing that the badger's not going to come back. Let's see if he's able to build those up before this Fox comes in and capitalizes too much. 4 farms to 6. Swifty's definitely got to make it happen with these lizards. 6 toads, though. I mean, it doesn't. You can just close your eyes to the number of lizards because it doesn't matter against 6 toads.
Yeah, it is nuts, man. And I like the idea that toads counter lizards. I do like that a lot, but like you said, man, like these 6 toads can probably take out all those lizards, and that's a little too much. Yeah, that was just insane, man. Like 6 toads killed like 20 lizards there. That's so crazy.
So it's pretty tough that lizards feel so impotent to toads, but just a well played game there by Skyrider. That was a great like tier 3 rush on rush battle to see who did it, who wore it better, and I think Skyrider kind of came out on top, obviously.
Yeah, and one last thing I'd like to point out about that game is I really like that move Swifty made after he lost his Badger, just going ahead and selling off that tier 3 Warren, knowing, I'm not going to save up that kind of money again, and, try to go for a tier 1 tech switch, and that was really cool, man. But, all right, we got one more for everybody tonight. We got Talados versus Defari. Are you ready?
All right, I'm ready. Yep.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, in the 6 o'clock position, we've got our blue player, Defari, against his opponent in the 10 o'clock position, Talados.
Interesting deck picks coming out here. I mean, Talados is running that, trinity of tier 1 units that I think is really safe in meta right now, the Squirrel Toad Pigeon. And Defari, man, he's got some tricks up his sleeve. It looks like he's taking that mole pick just to be super safe in the early game, probably. I think that's kind of where moles are at right now. Like, I think everyone agrees moles are slightly too weak right now, but I think they can still be good. If you're getting kind of surprise attacked by a whole bunch of enemies, to kind of make a few real quick to help you kind of buffer your pig line.
Hey, if people think moles are weak, they need to take a class from Dr. Elogian here. All you got to do is build 40 of them, and then you can't lose.
That's a good point. But as I say that, of course, Defari coming in here for a little mole rush, but it looks like he faked out, and the fake was fairly successful because it forced Talados to kind of juggle around his farm and Warren placements. And I think from here, they both should be trying to just kind of get up to that 8 farm, 2 Warren composition, and that's really when we're going to see, the decision-making start for these players.
Couldn't agree more. Going up to pretty even builds right now. 6 squirrels apiece, 6 farms apiece. These guys love that number, so they're just going to kind of sit on these mirrored builds. Talados moving in here to see if he can take a little bit of advantage of this high ground. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to. Does 2 squirrels beat a pig?
Yeah.
Looks like they will not do that, and so he's going to retreat, just losing I think 1 squirrel there, so nothing too bad for Talados.
I'd also like to note, too, while this game's gearing up, I mean, the map's relatively balanced, wouldn't you say? I mean, Talados has got that great pocket expansion that is, very easily defendable for him, and Defari's got the natural base right on that high ground, which securing that zone is going to kind of negate the fact that his main base is on the low ground. I think Defari just really has to not allow Talados to get positioning on this high ground regardless, so I feel like that natural expansion being there is okay. And then from there, I mean, they both have good access to a 3rd and 4th base. I mean, yeah, if it goes super, super late, the last gristmill on the map goes towards Defari, but I highly doubt we're going to see anything go that long.
I like seeing this early tier 2 out of Defari. It's going to go well. Like only being three squirrels down, if he makes a push pretty early, he's definitely going to take out the squirrels of Talados. Talados kind of banking some money. It looks like he wanted to throw down a forward sniper balloon here and take an expansion as well. I was kind of thinking it would be a tier 3, but now he's just going to play it safe and put down a couple more squirrel warrants.
Yeah, great positioning of that balloon too. Really effectively defending both his main and natural expansion there. And I like the response from Talados after he notices, okay, my opponent, went for the skunks and went for a lot of early turrets. Therefore I can go ahead and start saturating up my expansion. I can go ahead and get out some tier 2 units of my own. And this is starting to kind of progress into a pretty balanced mid-game here.
I think so. I love seeing owls in general, as always. We kind of see that come out because whenever you get 2 bases, those owls become just a lot more within reach than they were. Seeing the winged demons come out from Talados here, I'm trying to think how they come into play. They're going to be pretty good against Defari because he's only got 1 thing that can attack winged demons. Yeah. So Well, I mean, he's got 2 because he's got the bullet hives as well, but bullet hives can't move, so he's only got 1 mobile thing that can attack wing demons.
And this is going to be a really great attack out of Talados here, just kind of going all the way around those defensive structures, and that always hurts, man, when you're a turtle. It hurts your little turtle heart when somebody finds a way to get in there and get around all that investment you made. But Talados just saying, you know what, that's fine, we can take this game a little longer. I'm going to beat you up to higher tech. I'll get my tier 3 out a little bit before you do. And yeah, those wing demons might become really significant here, like you were saying earlier, Ice, because the chameleons, the skunks, the moles, the owls just can't do anything against them.
That's the danger. You got to be kind of paying attention to these things in the game. Like, you got to kind of think to yourself, what if my opponent builds barbed wire, and what if my opponent has a bunch of flying units? And so if you don't have any kind of answer for those in your deck, granted, a huge squirrel ball is a pretty good answer to these things, but we'll see if Defari makes the necessary adjustments to prepare for this in-flight army coming out of Talados.
Well, to be fair, a huge squirrel ball is a pretty good answer to most things. I hate when,
that is true.
I was playing Bright Yellow on the ladder earlier today, and I was trying to do some fun stuff, like get out some quick snakes and skunks and stuff like that, and man, he would just roll over me. He's like, that's fine, I'll just build like 27 squirrels and just dominate you. And look at this engagement, man. Those poison clowns from the skunks getting a ton of work done, but like we were saying earlier, man, there's nothing that can deal with these wing demons. And, you know, Defari is lucky to get out of there with any of his units alive here. Yeah, Talados trying to push it. Did he get that last skunk, or did it live? I think no, it lived.
Yeah, man. He's still got it sitting in there. Another one popping out right now.
Yep, and he's got 2 chameleons up. 1 chameleon's kind of low HP. Now, Defari does not have the pigeons, which is going to make it a little harder for him to kind of poke in and poke out consistently like Talados can. And, you know, let's see. Defari, he might have found a little opening where Talados is a little out of position and comes in here and gets these tier 2 Warrens and gets out of there without taking too much damage. It's going to be a really big deal. Looks like
he's moving in. This boar is going to do some serious damage to get these Warrens. He's going to take them out in no time, and that's going to be a little bit tough for Defari. He's got some money saved up. We've got a bit of a base trade situation going on here, but this Uncle Butter's positioning is a little bit more favorable, if you ask me.
Yeah, this is going to be rough, man. I think Talados is going to win in the end, but only because he took like every gristmill on the map, basically, right? I mean, yeah, if he didn't have those other bases, and I'm sure Defari probably wasn't even aware of them, man, that was super close. Great game.
Indeed it was.
All right, everybody.
I guess that was our last one.
Yeah, let's see what time it is. Yeah, we're about at the 2-hour mark, so it's a good place to call it quits for tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Thank you to DJ and Mishi for those show matches earlier. That was a ton of fun, and how am I surprised that DJ managed to figure out a way to cheese us, even with those restrictions against them. But it was still super awesome, man. I love seeing stuff like that.
It's just the ways some guys' brains are just made of Swiss cheese, and I think that's what DJ's got. He's got cheese on the mind at all times, and he's a pro at coming up with it.
Yeah, you got to get guys like DJ, though, involved with stuff like balancing almost, I would say, because it's like you have this really cool idea in mind, and then they come in and they're like, oh, well, what if I just build turrets right at the front of your base and you die? You know, like, it's really cool to see people come up with strategies like that. But so announcements, yeah, we believe we've got confirmed from Dexter earlier that the new patch is coming out soon, so I think we'll have to double check our files, but I believe we have casted at least one game from everybody who has submitted us replays at this point. So guys, get to work this weekend, man. Play a ton of Tooth and Tail and get us some new patch replays for our show coming up on next Tuesday.
Yeah, in general, it looks like we've done a pretty good job. We had a few. Looks like there's one from a guy named Curb Kid that we might have missed. But
we've done Curb Kid before.
Definitely throw that one in there.
I want to say we've done a Curb Kid game before, haven't we?
Otherwise, I think we've got... I mean, a lot of these names are looking familiar, so I think we're doing a good job. We're getting a nice little family here, guys. I really like this community we're building.
Yeah, it's a ton
great.
of fun.
And I think in terms of other things, I'm not sure if you've talked to him too much, but it looks like I've got a little bit of free time this Saturday. That is the Clash of Comrades via Schal Oktoberfest tournament. I might be helping out cast for some of that. Delthius might be joining me. We'll see. That'll be on the Clash of Comrades channel anyways. It won't be on ours. So make sure to check that out starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Yeah, that's kind of the next big 1v1 tournament that's going on right now. And then I'm sure they've got a 2v2 coming down the pipes a little bit after that. Otherwise, I think we'll just be back next Tuesday, right, Delthius?
Yeah, I'll definitely be tuning into the Oktoberfest tournament this weekend. Yeah, it looks like they're doing 2 qualifiers. One is this weekend, and the next one is going to be probably the week after on the 21st. Now, the deadlines to sign up are tomorrow night at midnight EST, guys. So sign up for this tournament, man. The Clash of Comrades guys have been big supporters of the Tooth and Tail community and tournament organizers since the alpha and beta days, and make sure to give them a lot of turnout. Sign up if you want. I mean, it's double elimination, so it'll be similar to that Strawberry tournament a little bit, where there'll be that losers bracket. So even if you're not a top player, don't be shy to join up and have some fun and participate in a tournament. That's always a good time. And even if you don't participate, definitely tune in. Oh man, they're giving away Tooth and Tail shirts. I want a Tooth and Tail shirt.
I know. Well, not giving it away. You got to earn it with
gotta earn it
big
with
nerd beatdowns.
With some nerd cred.
Yeah, you gotta earn it.
Man, now I might sign up. I don't know. I got to see if those guys need help casting. They probably got it covered, though, I'm sure. But all right, let's see who else is live right now. We can do a little rating. Caboodleschmidt's doing some ranked. We got Bright Yellow doing some ranked, and we got Mud TV. It says it's Tooth and Tail, but it looks like he's playing League of Legends or something.
Yeah, let's stay away from that, bro. Let's throw it to Caboodleschmidt, don't you think? He submitted some replays, new player. Seems like he's worth checking out. Looks like he's got some sick screen overlays already. I don't know if this guy was like streaming other stuff before Tooth and Tail and just has the experience, but looks like he knows what he's doing. Yeah,
let's give the host over to Caboodleschmidt. We'll hit Bright Yellow next time. He's a big supporter of the stream too. But guys, thank you so much. Don't want to keep rambling on, but make sure to get involved with or watch the Clash of Comrades tournament this weekend, and we'll see you lovely nerds back here, same Tooth Time and Tail TV, right? Next Tuesday.
Yeah, you got it. That's our saying now.
Is that our catchphrase now?
Yeah, same Tooth Time, same Tail TV.
All right, guys, we really appreciate everybody tuning in and supporting the show, and we'll see you guys later. Take care, everybody.
Peace out.